Welcome back to the good studio. The new and improved Apollo. Trans is fucking bad at this. Wait.
You fucking... James, I'm gonna fucking murder you. Piece of shit.
You messed it up.
Oi.
You're gonna flip off the street and say nothing. How did I mess it up?
Look at the kitty.
Am I the one who messed it up? Seriously.
Look at the kitty.
I think you both did a piss poor job. I'm really disappointed. We're gonna have a meeting about this later, guys. Highly unprofessional.
Whoa, this kid's gonna jump off! No, he's not, dude. He's not. Semmler's gonna kill a kitten live on the show. There's no escape. Right,
He knows it's not going to jump off the table.
No, he's looking for a way out now.
Bye, kitty. Camera close up. Come.
Oh, jeez, this is a bad idea. Oh.
What? Whoa. Whoa, guys.
Look how awesome this kitten's hair is. And then... and then he changes.
And then your hair. Terrible.
Trent, you're such a failed producer.
Come here, little one.
Me and James are trying to be funny, and you're just fucking terrible, Trent.
What are we doing?
Oh, I got another kitten. They're all coming.
Whoa.
Kitten fight. Best esports talk show ever.
Yay!
These two are girls. And,
Yeah, the white ones are girls, and this one's the guy.
This one's a guy.
Watch them.
They won't jump off the table.
I don't know about this one.
This one's got
This one's the
suicidal
scared one.
tendencies.
This one's the scared one. These two are cool. They go out and adventure and
Oh,
fight
this
and
one's
all that.
typing.
But this one is just like freaked out.
He wants to go to Twitch chat. Okay, that's actually...
It'll give you
GG.
cancer, kitten.
I actually did this with my phone. I took Twitter up, started tweeting, and let the kittens type. So these are like new age kitties.
Yeah.
Semmler.
What? He's alright.
Jesus.
Trent, chill.
Okay.
You won't
Why hasn't Trent's got a mic? He's the funniest out of all of us.
You can hear Tran.
Alright, let's...
Welcome to the studio. Nope.
We've got kitty.
Adventure kitten.
Look, leave him. He's fine. He just wants to
No,
explore.
because everyone's got me worried now.
Don't worry.
Well, if I leave it and it jumps,
He's
no,
gonna
it's
jump
not
off.
going to jump.
Oh shit! I got a kid fell off. What's happening? It was so obvious.
You fucking fell! You fucking retard! I said watch the fucking kitten!
Why are you yelling at me? There's like 8 people in this studio.
Wait, stop shouting, Tran. Stop shouting. Stop shouting.
Sorry. Hey, chill. He's just a
Okay.
fucking dirty gypsy. Don't worry. He yells a lot. I'm
You're
sorry.
scaring the kittens, Tran.
Wait,
Trans
no.
has left the show.
Don't worry.
He's gone.
Trans.
He's gone.
Yo, Scriff, we're gonna need you to come down in a minute.
Guys, we have no producer.
It's alright. It wasn't.
Okay.
The worst part is I left my fucking Twitter logged in that laptop, so he's gonna go upstairs and start fucking with my shit. You know, I thought today it was like a shorter show. It would not.
Script.
It would not.
Backup producer.
Get in this. I don't have a mouse. Hey, that was the natural instinct
Was the
there.
kitten okay though?
Yeah, it was fine.
It
Of
was
course
fine.
it's fine.
It wasn't much of
Okay.
It actually, it fell
fucking
onto
kids.
the monitor cables and kind of glided
Yeah.
down.
Wait, watch out. You're like looping it around the camera leg. Wait.
Oh, wait, hold on. Is it going-
You've done a piss poor job of picking up that mouse.
The thing is, we've had them on the bed upstairs, which is about this height, and they don't go off. And then the desk is. Yeah.
Can you check this shot? Because
Well,
this
they can
camera
find-
definitely
they're
moved.
fine. The bed now.
They're fine.
I do feel very
Kittens
bad,
are
guys.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Kittens are fucking indestructible. We don't have to worry about them.
If there's anybody that is particularly upset, we will check in on the kitten later.
Well, to be honest, James, out of all times for Trent to flip and leave the show, I didn't think it would be today.
Over a kitten.
I thought he had a lot of McDonald's today. He was in a great mood.
He did actually have a McDonald's on the way to the studio.
No,
So that
okay.
usually sets him
Two.
up
So
nicely.
we were like Apollo. I thought Apollo's haircut was fabulously makes him reminiscent of Terminator. I don't know if you watch. You know, it's kind of just the style it's up, right? And so I was just like, yeah, look, let me introduce Apollo, and then just put the camera on him for 3 seconds, and then put it back on me, and then back on him, just straight face, nothing. Out of the awe. And then Trans was just like, before I even introed Apollo, he just changes the camera. and no one's talking now.
I'm
You got
tweeting. I'm
Adam.
tweeting. I'm
Funny
tweeting to
story.
everybody. The kitten's fine. Good show, YOLO.
Hey,
Well, good start.
That was my fucking happy meal.
I love it when Francis walked out of the studio. I think that's the second time.
That's
He normally comes back.
He
That
does
is the
normally
second
come
time.
back. But this one's weird. It feels like he's not coming back.
He was really angry.
Yeah.
Well, we got bombarded by kittens. And I was like,
I had one in my
right,
hands.
all right,
I
I
had
didn't
one in my
think they would
hands.
go over. I was like, no. And then it went that way. And then I was like,
That's such a good picture of Trump.
All right.
like,
What's the
I-
first
My
topic,
picture, man. I took
Semmler?
that fucking picture.
Semmler, let's go.
Yeah, let's go ahead and move on here then. So, you guys wouldn't guess from what the fuck's been going on, but this is the StarCraft section of the show, so we're going to get into it. The DreamHack Open Stockholm recap is what we're going to kick off with. So, DreamHack just happened this weekend. It was their first event of the year, and as far as we're concerned, they delivered because amazing production, amazing players. They had one of the best lineups in DreamHack history attend the event, and they certainly did provide the best games because through and through the event was a pleasure to watch, and just being in the crowd itself was amazing. The energy that Swedes bring to live events can't be rivaled. So I suppose we should just go ahead and recap what actually happened, who finished where, and Apollo is actually casting at the event, so you can go ahead and give us a little bit of insight on that.
You know what's a better position than casting? Is the guy that observes everything, Semmler.
It's true. Adebisi.
How much did you observe? How many games?
I think we did 8 best of 3s the first day, and then 13 best of 3s and a best of 5.
I didn't even cast that many games because In Control subbed with me for a couple.
He subbed with you on the first day, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's meant to be 9 best of 3s, but we were an hour late on the first day. It's so funny how it's like every event is always an hour late, and then no one cares.
No one really
Five
cares.
fifths.
Why were DreamHack late anyway?
Well, the overlay system, I guess it's like
Yeah.
they connected out, because they set their crap up wherever, and then they bring it to the venue and reset it up. And I think it just didn't work. It just didn't work.
You know how they fixed it?
How did
Ow.
they fix it, James?
Well, they coded some more, and then
Yeah, I
they
know that.
replaced their streaming PC with our PC from the Good Studio. So technically, I want
DreamHack,
20% of ad revenue.
Probably a lot of ad revenue.
They use my PC to stream DreamHack.
Yeah, it's funny because if you watch I guess like the first half of the first day, there were no overlays or anything. So it's like they have a really nice system to bring up all the groups, like the group stage. Like they pull from Binary Beast and then it goes into their overlay system. But instead, I'm just there like, all right, go on Binary Beast and full screen it, and then we'll just scroll down. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. I'd be like scrolling down and then like trying to pick what matches we were going to broadcast next, and then like forget to scroll, and so you guys are just like talking at the same group for like 10 minutes and shit like that. But yeah, it was a good event. The player pool was sick. The venue was good. The things were nice.
Everything was really good. I mean, if you look at day 1 first, then go into day 2, I think day 1 was a major improvement compared to usual DreamHacks, even though no one remembers them, because everyone remembers day 2 in the show. Big day 1 improvements were roaming camera, kinda.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
For once.
Yeah. Apparently I was caught on there
It's
eating a
always
cupcake.
game, overlay, game, overlay, game,
Well,
overlay.
Yeah.
I like crowd shots are not that entertaining, right?
Yeah.
Like they had some of them, but generally just having a cameraman in the player area for day 1 was huge for me to just sit there and be like, oh, cool, they're guys. And there was that one guy that had like a cloth over his mouse.
Gumiho,
Yeah,
towel
it was the
tearing.
towel tearing.
Yes.
What the fuck was that about? Like,
It's-
what was it actually about? I want to know now. You know?
Towel.
Yeah.
It's he has the condition where he sweats a lot.
Hyper
Hyper
sweating.
Sweating. It's some words with hyper up front, and he has to play with a towel because his hands just.
Why doesn't he wear a glove?
That's a good question. Maybe because it sweats inside the glove. Maybe he turns a towel over every 5 minutes.
Could be. Two
Maybe.
matches. Has a whole set of towels in his bag.
But I think that he. I'm not actually sure how he uses it because I think he plays with it on, cleans his hand, gets rid of it, plays normal. When his
No,
hands
he
start
was,
to
he
get
was
sweaty.
playing with it when it was on.
Yeah.
When the
Yeah.
camera
I
went
mean, I've
over.
seen footage of him playing. He always like had it on.
I'm not sure
GSL
if it's
too.
on and off or consistently on or something, but yeah.
Well, that's like his trademark. He's known for it now.
But yeah, first day wise, and I think there's a lot of times where because of the overlay problems, it's like the backstage, the production guys are kind of in a frazzle to fix that. So sometimes I think Take was a bit underused that during the start because they were trying to fix those other problems, so they couldn't focus as much on having some of that filler content and whatnot. But I mean, they also all the stuff with the in control kind of trolley interviews, all that was filmed during day one, so they were doing a lot of stuff and it was busy. And of course, they're admitting a 96 player tournament, which is the biggest there is now, right? I mean, with MLG not doing open events anymore, that by far the biggest event. Tournament. And I mean, with the MLG events, it's always like they have their champ bracket or group stage matches that they basically broadcast those matches, and then they don't have to worry about broadcasting any of the open bracket matches. So with the DreamHack event, it's like you have to balance the broadcast with the admitting of the tournament. And during that stage, like I know there's a lot of complaints like, oh, the downtime, the broadcast isn't that great, but it's like the running of the tournament has to kind of take priority, because at the end of the day, it is a tournament first and then a show second. So. I
think one of the big complaints that's always been at DreamHack is the downtime, but the downtime's more so because of the way that the tournament format is 3 different group stages. There's only 32 computers that they can play on. So once group stage 1 is over, they have to get everyone the fuck out, but everyone in.
64 computers, but you're right.
Yeah, and so it's a bit more difficult to kind of keep the show rolling all the time when you only have that amount.
Yeah, I mean, the first group stage finishes, then you have to draw the groups, and then you have to get the players set up, swap them all into the new PC. So, I mean, basically there's an hour and a half there where it's just, there won't be much. And we had you and Artosis in Control on talking about the groups, which I think was good, and it worked out well. Yeah, so I mean, it was first day was good.
It was also cool. One thing that I liked also was when they had the camera actually with the players when the group drawings were being made, and
when Take was there getting reactions,
getting
that
the
was
instant
awesome.
reactions like Rhett's reaction.
That was funny because it was either it was really good or he just was like, I'm looking for people, and
it was pretty funny. At one point, Take was up there, and then he was like, I think I saw Tilo around here, and then we were chilling at like the casting desk, and Tilo was down there with us, and then the crowd, which is right by the casting desk, is like they see Take looking for Tilo on the big screen, and then they see Tilo down there with us, and so everyone's.
I think one of the things that could have been improved though was just Take roaming more, random results from the open side of things, right?
Exactly.
I think random
Keeping
results,
you up to date.
going over to the admin desk, how's it going, admins? What do you do? And just kind of full of content, because even though the downtime was a lot less out there than any tournament before, there's still parts that I think could have improved. I don't think it was really Take's fault. I just think Take's role in itself at DreamHack could have been a lot better.
It's like communication between Take and the production.
Yeah.
Take has to be able to communicate and be like, there's this that I want to do right now. Can we do it?
Also, there's a lot of players that aren't playing in Group Stage 1 and maybe Group Stage 2 that have gone out already. Beginners, why did you come to DreamHack? And just, you can find anyone and talk to anyone. I just think that was missing, the most from day one.
Honestly, we've been holding off, not holding off, but we haven't done anything cool with DreamHack for a while because we did the couch a long time ago. But I would really like to do this year round when the good studio, like me, Semmler, Scriff and stuff, actually do the backstage interviews and stuff like that. Not host it, but just do all this kind of filler content. Because if DreamHack are going that direction, that's something that I think we'd be interested in doing. I also just want to say, by the way, thank you. I got a very nice compliment in chat, and I should say thanks to his name. So thank you, DJ Dickbutt.
What was the compliment,
Perfect,
James?
yeah.
Much better than
coming from
Total
him.
Bizzle, which is Biscuit.
I like how we haven't had any overlay at the bottom.
I
think Scriff doesn't know how.
Just waving his
Scriff doesn't know
hand.
how to use the new system.
It's so funny. Francis just drove off.
Because the thing is, I think it's all pre-programmed in there. for going down the
That's
way.
the thing. Opie, are you actually going to go check right now if he's still here?
Opie's staying at Trance's place. And Trance has just raged and left, so Opie's walking upstairs now to see if he's still got a lift home.
Oh.
He's
so blank. And Trance is probably
crazy
sitting there.
shit
watching
Trent's
this.
just fucking deleted it all before he left. He's like,
Fuck you
I'm
guys.
quite sure I can hear Trent shout every now and then. He's probably.
It's either Draskell or it's Trance sat behind Sing watching him play games or something.
Mm-hmm.
maybe Trent's is just going to come back in about 10 minutes with some McDonald's. Be like, all right, guys, I feel much better now.
Yeah.
I can start producing the show again.
Maybe.
But anyway, back to DreamHack.
The sleeping hours, obviously minimal for everyone.
Yeah,
players
players
and
included.
casters. Day 1 finished at, I like to say, 11:30 to 12.
Yeah.
And then that's, getting back to the hotel, having a quick talk about the day. You don't really get to bed until about 1, maybe later for a lot of people. And then it obviously starts up again at 8, 9. So short sleeping hours, which is always sucky at DreamHack, but everyone kind of loses on that. And then day 2, really, if you want to jump into day 2.
Well, day 2, it was the second day of the event, guys. It
Go
was,
figure.
Well done, Adebisi. Hello.
Sean,
Yes.
your mic is muted. Can you unscrew and screw it back
oh,
on?
tighten that.
Funny noises.
You muted his mic before that. Well done. It was professional producing, that is. And you even kindly asked to kind of talk to us.
See, Trans would have shouted at me. Okay, I'm done. Alright, do I sound good now, mate?
Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks for the fix.
Yeah, day 2 was good. It worked out really well with NASL co-broadcasting because it's like you got a kind of a studio production. Obviously, they're off-site, but you know, studio production for all those round of 16 matches. And
something we didn't really talk about was NASL and
Yeah,
stuff.
they did that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because when I tuned in and you were delayed at the event, NASL were live.
Yeah, they actually saved DreamHack a lot, to be honest,
Yeah.
when it comes to downtime, because if there wasn't something on, NASL was pretty much on all the time. So
well, I mean, they always have though. I mean, they kind of replaced Jorsar, and right. Like, there's always that's the nice thing about DreamHack. There's always 10 different community streams,
But
different
replacing
languages.
Duracell with Rotterdam and Bitter at NASL TV studio.
Well, obviously,
it's a lot more enjoyable.
It's a big step up, obviously. So it was really cool having them, and I think they were doing some cool stuff with production too. That was almost like, in some ways, better than Dream. Like, they had Clutch off to the side, just like basically, refreshing Wikipedia and like getting prepared, and then being like, all right, here's some updates. Here's some mild upsets. Here's this, here's that. So that was.
I mean, before we jump too much into day 2, I still want to go. I still feel, and I'm very overcritical. I think it's Jazz called.
That's Jazz.
Overcritical towards ESL, MLG when it comes to their tournament. So I want to do the same with DreamHack, and I still feel the anyone can be a champion feeling was in the pipe video, but it wasn't at the tournament still. I don't know how to make that more possible, but it's because we would always on stream 1 broadcast names rather than unnames, and we don't see any of these unknowns get knocked out and try. I think that's a problem which I'm not sure how to solve.
yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, after all, it does come down to the fact that DreamHack need to get stream numbers, and the big names, it's just that simple. The big names provide the numbers, the
It's
feedback,
when-
the direct return on that.
Well, I mean, there's so many games at once. You just can't. I
It's
mean,
also that. It's,
Do you
like,
think
if
it's
you-
just? I mean, do you think it's just that if they do well, that's their chance, rather than they come in and then we look at them when they
Pretty
come
much. Like, I don't think you can be like, we want to highlight these players by making sure they definitely get featured on the mainstream.
Yeah.
But as long as you speak to them throughout the tournament in the interview area, and also make sure that you like, I think one of the next steps for DreamHack is really kind of unifying a lot of what their streams are doing, in terms of people know what games are on what streams and when they start and who's ready, etc. Because even NASL, they're like, oh, what game are we doing next? Kind of looking over and checking, and sometimes one of them would leave the game and go check what was happening, etc. But it's the next step for DreamHack, because DreamHack primarily were a big tournament finish day, the final day.
yeah, the show.
And then they had the kind of day 1, which was, they've improved it. And now they need to, with improvements in day 1, to make it have that better feel. It really, like, Take did a pretty decent job, right? Like, he's always pretty good on camera. Obviously, for an English audience, him speaking English is not the nicest, because sometimes he does lose his words, and I'm sure he feels like he could have done a lot
I
better
spoke
in
with him
German.
about it, yeah, and he's...
But it's like, if you had some more people, like a couple more roaming cameras and a couple more hosts, I think you'd have an excellent performance. But I can nitpick the event as well.
Yeah, I
It's more
really
personal
liked
performances as well,
how,
but-
because Take was a great candidate because he's spent so much time with a lot of the players, so it's much easier for him to approach them and have a kind of conversation, and he also knows the game much
Yeah.
better than a lot of the other hosts that we've seen, who are kind of like, so, what do you think? This is your opponent. Take kind of knows the stories behind these players, especially the European players. So, I mean, he can come talk to them, and like, he just knows where they are in WCS and blah, 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 blah. So, it was good having him instead of a pretty face.
All right,
Although he's
Paul.
pretty too.
I keep saying before we jump into day 2, but every time I say that, I have one subject and another one pops up again. So we're still on day 1. We definitely should talk about the Lucifron thing and the tournament format thing. Hellspawn, king of... Okay, Hellspawn.
Lord, he's the Lord, not the king.
Lord of...
Mingles has come down, by the
Admin.
way. Mingles has come down to get revenge on Semmler.
Uh-oh.
Here it is.
Semmler, you're in trouble. Semmler!
She was licking her.
Nope.
She just wants food.
Semmler, like, pushes the cat off the table. Fuck.
Touch it like that.
Alright, so Lord Spawn. This cat. Lord Spawn needs to, I think, because he's the format king.
No Mingles.
No, we've lost another cat.
Lord Spawn is the format guy, right? Makes the format, makes the tournament.
Well, what he's like the overall tournament
Yeah.
manager, isn't he?
He needs to look at 4 group round robin. Fuck this, Hellspawn. I'm glad you're not here because I'll be shouting at you. And I actually think it's time to move on from that format.
Oh, Jesus.
There are
we had-
too many draws. There are too many 3-way ties. It is too difficult to sort it out. And Lucifron in a group with a Korean and Strelok, who's performing very well, should never, ever, 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 ever go out with a 2 wins to 1 loss. It sucks.
Well, he went out with a coin flip. It's
And
pretty
then-
fucking
yeah, so
retarded.
he gets
Well,
2
I
wins, 1
mean-
loss, and then out. I mean, it's in the rules that if
Yeah.
it keeps on going on a 3-way tie,
I think it's twice
we
over.
shouldn't get to a 3-way tie.
I mean, yeah, the one thing I kind of want to emphasize is that, like, I don't think he can actually complain that much because the thing is he played a tiebreak twice, and
Yeah,
it's like,
it's-
well, if you truly deserve to advance, you would have beaten those players. So it's like you didn't.
But
like
the other players didn't
like the thing is, like,
beat.
I just feel he didn't get screwed. It sucks for him, but he didn't get
Well,
screwed.
what happened to the other players? They got tiebreak twice
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
But
Well, they
did
got lucky.
advance.
He got screwed. They got lucky. But the fact is, none of them. They were all put in a position where it was random, the decision.
Yeah.
But it's like if they wanted to advance, they should have gone 3-0 in the group. They should have won the tiebreak. So I mean, like, I support GSL dual tournament groups.
mean, we
but I don't
did
think
that.
I don't think people can feel like they were robbed like anything else. Like, because there are a lot of people, and I mean, this is like they do this, and this exact same format is used in like some football somewhere. I don't know, in big stuff.
Yeah, but the draw when you get tiebreakers. Let's look at the Premier League and football in England. When there's draws happen, there's a legitimate way to sort it out. If
It does eventually go to coin flip.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, I don't
No, it
know. I
doesn't.
saw a lot of people
No, no,
citing
no.
things on Twitter, and it looked believable. So
You think that, let's say Man United and Chelsea are ranked 1 and 2 in the ladder. I say rank 'cause I'm a StarCraft guy now,
Yeah.
not top of the
And
league.
the ladder,
Sorry,
too,
Sorry.
okay.
But if they're 1 and 2 and they got the same points, they got the same goal difference, they got the same home and away record, you think that FIFA are going to be like, all right, guys, I know there's millions on this.
Someone
millions.
says that FIFA World Cup.
You think
has
they'd
a
coin flip it?
I think there are
They would
situations
actually
where
have
it goes
they'd
to a
have
coin
tie
flip.
off.
They coin flip for sides. In the
They'd have a tie off.
They coin flip for
They'd have a
sides at the
tie
beginning
off.
of every match.
But
that's what Script says.
no, I generally think it's quite appalling to have someone's tournament decided
Yeah.
on coin flip.
It's
And
happened
it's
so
but
many
then the
times.
thing is, it's like, yeah, Hellspawn does need to change it. Like, something needs to happen where you actually get to finish off.
Yeah, I mean-
your group, because you say, oh yeah, it's not getting screwed. It kind of is, man.
No, I'm just saying that it's like you can't come into this and like if you true like it's just the
scheduled.
situation you end up in.
It's
like that's the
scheduled.
format.
No, but the
And I
point
mean,
is, if someone else in
I
his
prefer a
same-
format change too.
Yeah, I know
but I'm
that's-
just saying when there are all these pitchforks and craziness, it's like that's just the rules. And I mean, you had a chance in your group, and then you had a tiebreak, then you had another tiebreak, and if you were that good, you would have beat.
But the
and
other
won then.
players also had
Yeah,
the same
yeah.
result, but they
Yes.
got through, so he did get screwed. You can't compare it to like, oh, if you're going to win the
Well-
tournament, you might as well, you should have won your tiebreak. But the point is like, well, I tied with the other people in the tiebreak, and I didn't go through, and they did. That is getting screwed. That's like if I was running, I would be ashamed.
I mean,
of it
I don't
as
think
a
you're
format
screwed. I
happening
think
with
you're the
that.
victim of having poor luck. But
Poor luck and-
you lost games, so you ended up in a position where you're relying
You
on
got
luck.
screwed because there were rules that screw you.
Well, there are rules that randomly eliminate one of those 3 players. Yes.
You got screwed.
Okay. Yeah.
got
Yes.
screwed.
But
You get screwed out of BC. Just accept
well,
it.
I mean, if you then don't play in the tournament. Like, I mean,
That's the thing. You are signing up for it, and the thing is, yeah.
I do think they should. I mean, I think there's a million reasons. I don't think actually. I think there are reasons that are above the tiebreak thing that are reasons to switch to GSL format or dual tournament format. It's much friendlier for broadcast. This tiebreak thing, you don't have that.
Yeah.
And then there's another one I can't
less
remember.
matches, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's
the same
amount of
It's the
rounds.
same
It
amount
takes
of
the
rounds,
same
but
length.
3 rounds per
Can be
group.
played quicker.
But it's-
There's
it's
5
5
best of
matches.
3s instead of 6 best of 3s. And then
The downside
Yeah.
to it is, though, if you get like a really tough matchup, your first game, if you come in low seed of a GSL group, and obviously with a round robin, group, if you play everybody, then it's okay because you don't have that chance of being at the lower bracket. But the fact is, if you go to the lower bracket and lose a game, you would have in the group stages, which hinders your chances of going through anyway. But yeah, no, I would really like.
the
change
other
of
reason I think the change of format is good, especially now with WCS having more of a unified format. Where it's like casual people start watching StarCraft and I'm watching
get it.
WCS.
Yeah.
This is how that format works. And then when you come to DreamHack, it's like, oh, it's round robin. It's not what you're used to. So I think having that unification of the format is another big reason.
That's a very strong point, yeah.
To switch. So I mean, I think between all that, I don't know. Who knows if they'll change it or whatnot, but
But that's something that definitely needs to be looked upon, I think, ready for... Well, do you reckon Hellspawn would even change it for this year, though? I don't think he would. I think he'd keep
He's
it
a
the same.
stubborn.
He is stubborn, but the thing is that if you provide the good arguments, he could be led.
He will listen, I guess, but...
maybe it's more about convincing those binary beast people to support
The format in their
support
bracket
that
system.
type of group in their
Yeah,
in
so
their
anyway, we were just
infrastructure.
talking about Lucifer getting eliminated from one of the groups when he tied up twice, and it had to be decided by a coin flip. So
Yeah.
it was quite a long conversation. So let's get back on track. Where
Yeah, I
we're
think
going
that, but that
next?
sums
Day
up day
2.
1. Now we can go into day 2, which is
Actually
actually the
go
round of
into day
16 and the show.
So the round of 16, to be honest, the games in the round of 16 were not that good. They didn't set up the best round of 8. I don't think there's anything else you want to add on there. They were done. We did one game, NASL did one game, we did one game, NASL did one game at the same time until that was done. And it didn't set up the best round of 8. I want to actually have a look.
It's kind of funny how the bracket played out because I remember
Damn, this-
I remember Jaedong versus Verdi. I remember
we didn't do that
Naniwa
one.
versus
I
Sordo.
hate this freaking
Which
thing.
was,
It keeps
Mac,
clicking
man.
and stuff. Like, why is it right clicking every time?
What?
This thing in front of me, this MacBook, I clicked to drag the scroll bar down, and
use
every
the
time-
fucking arrow, you
Okay, I'm gonna use the arrow.
retard.
Every time I click though, it right clicks for some reason. I don't want to use the arrow because the fucking thing isn't.
Maybe because you have 2 fingers, more than 1 finger on the pad. Is that how it works with Macs?
But yeah, I think we did 3 ZVPs in the round of 8, and then we did a whole bunch more ZVPs. But it didn't
Alright.
get.
It was pretty much
it,
ZVPs,
It
wasn't it?
didn't
So-
get too tedious. 'Cause
the round of 16, like Stefano Coca, everyone wanted Stefano to go through, it didn't. Leenock Grubby, everyone wanted to grub, it didn't.
No.
Hero Puzzle, okay, that was good. Hero went through. Hyun versus Sase, people wanted Sase to go through, it didn't. So it was already starting to shape up that way. Tilo Naniwa was 50-50.
Yeah.
Naniwa went through, obviously better for the tournament than Naniwa did. Cass, sort of, Swedish player went through, that's good. Gumiho Huck, straight win for Gumiho. And then Jaedong Verdi. So it's not the best round of 16. I don't feel straight away, wow, and then coming into the round of 8, it didn't, for me, look that impressive. It was Coca versus Leenock. And if you're looking at it from a casual's view, it's like, 2 Koreans again. Hero versus Hyun was always a good Hero storyline, I think, so that was good that he won that game.
Returning champion and all.
Naniwa sort of, Naniwa went through. And then Jaedong beat Gumiho. So by the round of 4, when it was Leenock versus Hero, and then Naniwa versus Jaedong, bam, there's your top 4. And that actually went really, really smoothly from the round of 16 where it didn't look so good.
I can agree with you, but also at the same time, it's like it shouldn't matter who was in the round of 16. It's DreamHack to build the storylines and the commentators, right? So you can't be like, oh, what was the first round of 16? Like Coco versus
Stefano.
and you're like, or
Well,
whatever.
I'm just looking from the fan perspective when watching DreamHack rather
Yeah,
than
but
me.
but like one of the things I was disappointed in you in, Sean, was the amount of hype that the Swedish player Naniwa got
Right,
instead
James.
of
Leenock.
Well, that's the thing though, because
Instead of Leenock,
it's very difficult because I know what you mean, and I always try to avoid bias when it comes to it. But you got 1,500 people in front of you rooting for one guy alone. It doesn't matter what you say. And even through that best of 5, when I was saying that Leonot was doing something amazingly and pulled something off, 10% of people would actually appreciate it from the audience.
There's one thing that you have to take into consideration here is that every time Naniwa did do something, it wasn't just the casters, I think, that are responsible. It was the production as well, because lights would come on. I mean, there was encouragement from the production being like, lights are going on. You guys need to be making noise because something is cool.
No,
Naniwa's doing something cool.
This is how you do it, right? So basically, there was a lot of hype towards Naniwa's storyline, coming from the commentators. The commentators shouldn't have been in charge of the storyline, okay? That should be like the host, the panel, or whatever. It was something where it's like, they explain the importance to the win for this person. We all knew how important this would be for Naniwa. Sure, you're on Swedish TV in front of a Swedish audience. But the fact is like, there was one line where you were like, someone from the commentary desk was basically like, doesn't, he's won so many tournaments, doesn't really care. It's just another, another championship.
It was like, what,
that was Dan, right?
And
I was just like, for fuck's sake.
That wasn't me.
Because the thing about Leonot was, he's very young, okay? Yeah. That's important to a storyline. He's never won a DreamHack before, and if he won that event, he broke $200,000 in prize money.
Yeah.
It's huge for him. He's not sat in the finals like it's a fucking joke. He wants to pick up his first title at DreamHack, and this guy standing in front of him is playing on home turf. He is up against the crowd, Leonot. He's up against someone on his home turf that wants to win more than, anyone probably could want to win. In the sense, you've got that guy in that position, and you could have introduced his storyline to the audience in a way where you focus on him, just him for a moment, and, so people can then be like, I now have a connection between both players playing and what they're going through, rather than, I know everything about Naniwa's storyline, this is fucking fantastic, but as far as I'm concerned, he's just playing some robot. That's what it felt like. It felt like Naniwa versus Korean robot. No one gave him any personality on the commentator table, and I was very disappointed in you, Sean. But it's okay.
Thanks for the hard crunch there. But I think another thing to keep in mind too is that Leonot was always winning the series, and it was always Naniwa that was playing from behind, and it was always making that deciding game, which also put it in favor for him.
This
when
is
you
before
talk.
this is before it even starts the game.
Yeah. Okay.
As the game unfolds, then you can focus on the comeback story of Naniwa, Leonot keeping his nerves still. He's playing ahead. What can he do in this situation? It's setting the picture for the audience, because you had 120,000 people watching. Sure, you've got Swedish television, but I want people on Swedish television to go home and not just know Naniwa's name, but to know the guy he played in the finals. And I don't think there was enough production. And I don't think it's your job. And honest to God, it's not your job. But the thing is like the way that commentary is, where you guys have to do so much talking pre-show. They don't have a panel. They had a panel, and they could build the storyline and send it to you just to commentate, and then you take it as you are. Because, honest to God, your commentary, you and Artosis, was the best commentary I've heard in StarCraft 2. It was so easy to follow. You knew what they were gonna You even called the potential builds they were gonna do. You say, you've got 2 options of builds, and you were like, this or this. We think he's gonna go this because of this. And for someone that has no idea of top level StarCraft, I saw the whole picture just from you and Artosis. So the commentary was amazing, but it wasn't your job to do the storyline, but it was at the event because DreamHack set it up poorly still. And most tournament organizers do a shit job.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is as well is that for good storyline building is you let's look at LCS or leagues. They also have a lot of time in between games. This is 15 hours. From the round of 16 all the way to the finals, we don't get breaks. We don't really have time to think about what we're going to do because we're thrown right into a series straight away. So I think that kind of decreases the quality of cast. If you look at GSL when Dan and Artosis cast, they cast for 3 to 4 hours max. Well, 5 hours.
5 to 6
5
max,
hours max.
Yeah.
But this is 15 hours in a row. So it is difficult to keep on, and I do agree with you that it could have been done better, but it is very difficult when you're in there.
But at the end of the day, I don't think it's necessarily just the commentator's job. So I think it's a lot to do with the tournament organizer and stuff. But I felt overall it's one of DreamHack's best performances to date again. did a great job with the audience.
You mentioned numbers briefly, and I was pretty blown away that we got 120,000.
120K and apparently 72K.
Yeah, 72K
on
on SVT. But I mean, that's just
big.
people watching. I mean, 120K on Twitch. Like I felt like we get like 75, 80K would have been
the first
great.
day they were at 60K on the first day. And
Well,
it was just
that
like,
was
at the beginning of the first day too, nonetheless. I
Was
think.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't all streams added. That was on one stream, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's
when I
just
saw
like-
that, I was like,
just like, we could
80.
break 100K on this and easily, you know. So it's just going as far as 120. That's stunning.
Yeah, and going back to the
I don't know, go
something
ahead.
came into my head. Going back to the Enoch thing as well. One of the great ways to introduce players, if you don't have a storyline, which is that you want the audience to want them to win, is just to say how much of a fucking badass he is, but emphasize it. When people used to go up against Toxic in Quake, we called him the Terminator, basically, Toxinator, because he was unbeatable. And that, if you sold Lenok just being unbeatable, I know sometimes you might want to sell it as in like, oh, Naniwa's got a great chance. But if you really sell Lenok as being so unbeatable because you believe he is, the Swedish, viewers, the casual, will be like, I'm scared for Naniwa, which is a good emotion to put on somebody when they're watching.
That's kind of what I felt I did anyway, because I talked about how he'd only dropped a single map the entire tournament, how he was a 2-time MLG champion,
but
he's a GSL finalist, and he's this guy that's just wiped this tournament, first time, first go.
But it was very casually done.
Thanks, James.
You didn't.
Well, I
you
mean,
didn't
compare it
instill
more
any
to
kind of
the way people describe
fear of
Flash.
God.
I think, right? Like when people hype Flash, it's like
The ultimate weapon.
right. So.
All right. Well, do we have anything to add regarding day 2 as far as
Show was good, production was good.
LED lights and everything, the LED wall?
Opening doors.
Yeah, the doors. I think that worked well.
The finals
in
was the
school.
best, though. The finals was the best when they each came out individually rather than as a pair, where it's like let's awkwardly walk through the doors together and walk
Did
together.
you find it real? I don't know. I thought it worked.
No, it was so much better in the finals when they
Well,
had Lenok come
okay,
out. The music was
yeah.
good, the hype was there, but then they had this is another thing. They had the camera for Naniwa as he comes out of the doors. You see the crowd reaction. You see
Yeah, that
what
was
he's
a good
seeing.
shot.
You're in his
That was
shoes.
an amazing shot.
That was so sick. You walk out the doors and you see this fucking
You
wall
see
of
what-
people
you see
cheering.
what he sees.
Yeah,
was
that was
That was
awesome.
like my favorite shot of all the
Yeah, exactly.
camera work they
Likewise,
did.
yeah.
I mean,
It
I
was
was a
just
bit
so cool.
disappointed with Jeff and his working with the camera stuff. I don't think DreamHack had that experience yet. But when the jib cam was coming back in for an intro, I would have told the producer, when the jib cam comes in, I want to talk to it as it comes in until I square up and then camera change. Jeff's just kind of talking there, like, I'm doing an intro. You don't see his face. You see like the side and back of him. That camera goes round and then it goes to him eventually. But in reality, you should be stood in the middle of the crowd, talking to the camera, following it around, getting all hype, because like Jeff's performance he's funny, but when it comes to that high moment, he's really like, he doesn't excel at the top end of what a host should bring to a live audience in the finals. Like, he's very cool, he's casual. Like, I think he's actually a much better interviewer than he is a host.
Yeah, I think so. There was some amateur things, like when he'd finish talking, he'd turn his head to look to see if he was on camera on the big screen. So he had a lot of back of his head shots too. That happened quite a lot through the finals and before that. But yeah, I agree. I think his interviews are freaking hilarious, though.
Yeah, his
Yeah,
interviews
they were.
so
They were
funny.
fucking good.
Every single one.
Can we just agree then that DreamHack are insanely lucky when it comes to participants in their tournament actually making it to the finals? I mean, come on, Thorzane
Well,
won.
I mean, if you
Naniwa
look at
gets
DreamHack
there.
Winter,
Yeah, DreamHack Winter was like
4-0.
4-0,
Yeah, well,
3-1,
perhaps not the
3-0.
They can't get everyone, but I mean, seriously, like, they've been lucky in the past. And this one, I would say, it couldn't have gone any better, to be honest. Like, Naniwa in the finals, just, you knew it was going to be good. In the semis against Jaedong. And he manages to
Yeah,
beat
I
him.
mean, that game 3 against Jaedong was,
Yeah.
that was like,
That's what this something that, I
Insane.
mean, if we look at that game 3 on Star Station, which is the one where he almost lost but
Yeah.
won, I think that's where, I've always looked at commentary teams and said that if they know the game well enough, they're able to call and be the best cast, no matter how analytical, how play-by-play you want. As a lot of people made the argument, play-by-play and analytical commentators, but I actually think that game 3, that series in itself, with 2 analytical commentators knowing how to play-by-play, was one of the best casts there's been in StarCraft ever, I think, because not only were you explaining to casuals in the way that they were thinking as a player, which a lot of commentators don't get because they don't play, and then to lead to that very important moment where I think a lot of casters in the scene would have
Archons.
fucked up.
The Archons.
Yeah, they
You know,
would have
just
just been
like-
like, oh, here comes the army. Let's see if
Yeah,
we can
like-
hold
yeah.
it. It wouldn't have been like these two fucking Archons.
These 3 Archons, man,
Yeah, and
morphing.
it's
Are
like-
they going to
it
make
was
it
like
in time?
before the Archons were even made. I'm like, oh, Tosis, he has like 1,500 gas. That's Archons. He needs to go for it. And then
Yeah.
you see him build them. And then Jaedong's waiting to go. And then we're like, he needs to get there. And then
Yeah.
he gets him just in time in the game. Because, like, we know the game. And I think that's where the commentary level in StarCraft 2 will continue to go.
I mean, yeah, if I was commentating with you and I had to do the engagement, I'd be like, oh, it's my turn to talk now, play by play. And I'd just be like, and here comes the army. But it is, it's like that's what I felt that you guys really did well, was every important moment of the game we knew about. And every switch of the game pace we knew about. And you both knew about it so well that it was really natural and it was so much better. And I've always said that commentary shouldn't be kind of dumbed down at all.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
yeah,
you know, people have their strengths and weaknesses. Like, working with Dan was difficult because we hadn't worked together. People, you know, expect it to be Tastosis level, which is not, because I'm not Nick. I'm not as funny as Nick. I'm not that guy. But when it comes to actual commentary and how to describe how the series plays out, definitely believe that it was one of the better ones.
Yeah, you
it's
did.
been.
Like, you're technically, you were really good. Like, there was no think words in there at all. And you had very quick handoffs as well. If you noticed, you didn't end up speaking for long each. So it was pretty impressive. But, yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
But StarCraft doesn't have much to scream and shout about as well. There's
That's
only
the
a
thing.
few fights.
Well, that's
StarCraft
kind
is
of the
one great
importance
games you
of...
can have 2 analytical casters actually be awesome.
And that's why, yeah, with good commentary, you build towards those moments where the big thing does happen. And when 2 commentators really know the game well, it's much easier to be able, like, this is the timing attack, this is the all-in, this pressure needs to do this. Like, when you can actually properly know how those need to go for a player to get ahead or behind, that's when it's much easier to build hype.
I mean, one of the other things that was a bit weird was Dan's clothing. Did anybody notice that he ironed his shirt?
Yeah, good shit.
That was one of my pet peeves, man.
Dan ironed his shirt. Did you
It was
notice?
really impressive, you know, but...
Hey, guys.
Did you buy your shirt? and
That
then-
day, yeah, I didn't
that
fucking
day,
have a shirt. I
knew
didn't
it.
have a shirt.
I mean,
man.
you didn't buy it that day.
I did, or the day before.
Paulo,
The day before.
you have to iron a light-colored shirt, man. Like, it was like the one thing
I
that kept
loved it.
jumping out at
It
me.
reminded me of a younger me. When you forget, you buy a nice shirt. You should have got it off a rack, dude. Come on.
Well, you know the best part is he got a fucking rash because
Oh,
he hadn't
yeah, 'cause
washed it
it's
either.
new.
He had a rash around his neck
I
from
got
the
it
ring.
I didn't know why you just didn't buy one off the rack rather than folded, because then that would have you would have thrown that on. But you bought a whole folded one with pins and everything. You had to put them out, right? And then rookie error.
Whatever.
All right, moving on. We can go ahead and wrap DreamHack up now and get
Another
on.
thing maybe worth talking
Oh,
about with DreamHack was we use GameHeart, right? And so that,
Oh, yeah.
that
Actually, that's a really
made
big
it
thing.
kind of different. I think the community response is
Yeah.
like overwhelmingly
It's fantastic.
good.
There's a lot of discussions on whether GameHeart should be properly backed or not right now, and I think it
should
should
become
be.
standard. It should become standard.
You think?
Yeah, watching it, it was a pleasure to watch. I had all the information, relevant information. It was all properly sized. I could see so much more of what was going on the screen. There wasn't any clunky UI taking up space. Like, or at least when every game that I play, I look to make it as minimal as possible. If there's anything I can get rid of the UI, I do it because I want to see more of the screen, more information. So having that observer UI, you have all the space in the world, to have that. And then also you have all the relevant information, worker count, the mini-map, the time, the clock, everything is there, but well utilized. You even had space to bring in that awesome fucking shot with the eyes, where you could see the player's eyes right there. Like, that was fucking awesome.
You
mean-
worked with the GameHeart guy designing that, didn't you, Mike?
A little bit.
And then it
It's-
went over to Coral from DreamHack.
Yeah, well, I mean, is mostly his design, and then Cora gave some feedback. For DreamHack, it was actually quite challenging because when you watch it on GSTL, they have their sponsor logos in a set part. But with DreamHack, because it's also broadcast on SVTV
You can't
or
have
SVT, you
sponsors.
can't have certain corporate logos on there. But they want those logos on the stream. For example, with Blizzard,
Yeah.
you have to show their logo a certain amount if you show your logo a certain amount. So they had to kind of come up with a solution for that and some other whatnot. But I think it was really good. I mean, the
Yeah.
zoom out feature everyone loves. I was kind of using it sparingly, but
Still,
it's good.
What was it? Akalon Waste, I think, was the perfect one.
Yeah.
Or at least
Well, that's always
I keep
good
coming
with
back
the-
to that because you have that.
There's certain maps where there's like the
the
three-base
plateau.
distribution
Yeah.
and certain flanks where it's just you really see it a whole lot better when a player is setting up a good flank.
But I think everyone's going to be jumping on GameHeart now.
Well, it's really challenging because, as far as I can tell, Blizzard won't let WCS use it. So it's like you see it in GSTL, but not WCS Korea. And then, of course, you don't see it in the other leagues. And so it's hard because you have certain things you're used to, like the top. I think the biggest controversy and debate about it is always the top right, having the minerals and whatnot up there versus at the bottom center. And the thing is, you want it unified, just like how I said, tournament format, GSL, everyone's using it, nice to have it unified. And so when you've got some tournaments where it's just the standard UI, and then some tournaments
others
using
it's gonna
GameSpot, or GameHeart.
I mean, how awkward would it be if real sports change where things were, depending on what
Yeah.
they were?
I mean, they just have top right.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like, the layout that I was trying to get and I kind of wanted was having the scoreboard you have at the bottom center with GameHeart, with the workers, the score, the spawn locations, the names, the supply minerals, is to have that at the top right with a just kind of a big sportsy looking thing. I was thinking with, like, for ISO Open or for DreamHack Open, the star logo that DreamHack has, you have that like at an angle around it, so you get some branding there, and then that's at the top. And then move the production tab to the bottom center, and then otherwise keep it the same. But then you kind of lose the income and the army size and the resources lost. Being able to show that
was
when
quite cool
deselecting
as well.
a unit was nice too. So don't know how that fits in, but it's funny because the more I think about it, the more it's like, well, like, okay, Blizzard, it was cool to be like, let's empower the community.
And then be like,
But the fact is, what's happened is now we just have different UIs. A lot are slightly different, and it's like, it would be better if Blizzard
Said you
just
can only have certain things in certain places to unify it.
Well,
go do your
if-
own
if, like,
stylization and
because everything aside from the zooming out and some stuff with the lobby within a lobby, which I'll probably try and mention later if I don't forget, can actually pretty much be done with the UI stuff. It's just the fact that Blizzard released relatively poor documentation about how to actually use the UI editor, and then they sent out these 3 UIs that they made, one of which has like the production tab split up half and is just in general pretty bad, and then one that's like super minimalistic that like doesn't even show the minerals and gas, which is really weird. And then they have the one that's basically what WCS Korea and WCS Europe are using. But if they would just spend like the guy who made those, if me and the GameHeart guy could talk to him for like 3 days and tell him what to do, we could just make a perfect UI and then be like, all right, everyone's using this from now on. It makes a lot more sense than having like everyone make your own, and then we just have all these
Well, yeah.
different ones, and it's
Yeah,
like,
no,
where do I
MLG,
look
for
for the
example,
minerals?
MLG
What's
not even
this?
having it.
But
Well, why
what-
don't you think Blizzard are using it then? Because they seem to be the middle of it all that could change it all.
because they generally don't know what they're doing most of the time.
Do you mean using GameHeart or creating an actual
GameHeart.
UI? Yeah, I think I don't know why they don't want to use GameHeart. I mean, part of it might be that it's a custom map, so they're worried that certain exploits or something might be available there. It's kind of third party.
that could be it as well.
I don't know, but because I mean I felt kind of when I was watching WCS North America last night in the chat, there were 2 things that kept coming up. One, people saying it's a replay or not, but the second thing was like, what's this UI? Why is there no GameHeart? And then it was just getting spammed so hard, and it's like, I mean, for MLG to keep getting that feedback, and maybe it's feedback that will lead to some change, because that I'm 99.9% sure it's not MLG's choice whether or not they're using GameHeart. I actually saw one of the MLG producers tweeting during DreamHack, like, oh, is this GameHeart? And then got in contact. I think they've been in contact with the guy before. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at Anaheim we see GameHeart, but not for WCS North America.
Yeah.
But either way, they can make a UI with the UI editor that is quite similar to GameHeart, but just doesn't have the zoom out functions and stuff. So it's too bad that I don't know XML, so I can't make one, and it is a lot of work because the documentation to do it isn't really there. The other funny thing about the GameHeart thing is basically there's a lobby within a lobby, so when you load into the game, players set their races, they can have their team logos if they want, and then you set, like, I set up the overlay, so it's a best of 3, best of 5 map score, and then there's a ready button, and then both players can hit ready, and then the start button turns on, and it's getting fixed. The GameHeart guy is fixing it.
People are starting.
But anyone can hit start. So it's like, every time we get in the lobby, and like in the prior lobby, I'm always like, guys, do not hit start, please. Do not hit start. Like, you can hit ready, but do not hit start. And then we get in the lobby, and then it's just like, some players are just fucking pricks, and I know what they do. And they just hit start, and then all of a sudden, like, they're trying to hype up the match, and so there were a lot of times where it's like, I don't know how, because you guys were good at handling it, and production was good at handling it, but the game just starts, and then it's just like, oh, Jesus Christ, man.
Name a couple of players.
No, I'm not gonna name
Come on, some regulars,
Do it.
starters.
People can probably guess. I'm not gonna name names.
Sase and Naniwa.
Naniwa was great about it. Naniwa actually was always giving me a heart attack because he'd be in the lobby with another Korean, and I'd be like, don't hit start, and then he'd be fucking telling the Korean to hit start, and I'd be like, Naniwa, no. But Naniwa, aside from always taking long to set up in his booth, he was quite mannered, I found.
Huck, I'm saying,
People
I'm
are
thinking
guessing
Huck.
Huck.
Yeah.
I don't think Huck did it.
No, I think no.
Who were the players there?
Who did it?
I don't know. You named 3 people, and I said no about 2 of them.
I can't remember.
Someone who did it once. You don't have to say they did it all the time.
Well, I mean, the other thing is there's Koreans who just don't fucking speak English, and I'm like, hey, don't hit start. And then
They see the word start.
They're like,
press it.
I don't know what don't means. I know what start means. Like, I don't know. So
No start.
yeah,
No.
I'm looking forward to that getting fixed because that was a pain in the
All right,
ass.
fluff. Let's move on. All right. Well, it would be great to see a unified front as far as the UI is concerned.
Yeah,
the
I
observer
think
UI.
Blizzard could do it really easily, and I mean, why? I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was interesting too because just the other day on Reddit, there's the top upvote thing was the GameHeart guys should get monetary support. And I mean, it's always tricky with esports because there's a lot of people who do a lot of volunteer work, right? Like, there's a lot of people who put in hours and hours and hours, and I mean, he's put in hours and hours and hours. I mean, he's been working on this thing for like a year, and now,
GameHeart guy?
yeah, now it's finally getting used. He's getting recognition and whatnot, but he's still not getting any money for his time. So I mean, whose spot is it to do that? How do you do it? I don't know. It's
This is just lumped in with community.
it's an interesting topic. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
That's a debate for another day. If there's any developments, well, I'm sure we'll come
Yeah,
back to
sure.
it because that is very important. But I think now we can go ahead and move on. So that was DreamHack. That summed up all of our thoughts on DreamHack. And now we can go ahead and get into some more of the non-WCS news that we have here on the show tonight, which is, of course, the Shoutcraft America has been announced. Now, this is the real best American player, okay?
Right.
And there's strict rules about participation.
All right, I felt, don't know if people feel it too, but I felt this was a big blizzard from Total Biscuit. I actually generally felt it because, what was it? What was the time span between Blizzard saying, okay,
You can run a
you
10,000.
can run a 10,000 tournament, we probably won't be happy if you schedule on hours, we'll let you do it. And then hours later it felt like, Total Biscuit was like, $10,000 tournament for the best American, not a Korean American. When I first looked at it, that's how I felt
The really
it
funny
was.
thing is Axiom have where their players play.
Yeah, it's funny because you had all the American teams come in and basically fuck WCS North America. So.
Yeah.
It was really funny because a lot of people were talking about it like, well, I guess this is the least Total Biscuit and Jenna could do for bringing all their Axiom players to WCS America. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think it's cool.
It'll be
It's
interesting
an
to see how it
incentive
goes.
for a lot of Americans.
10,000 is a lot of
Bit of a
cabbage,
glimmer of
yeah.
hope.
It's funny because I think if if WCS America was meant to be and had only American players, I think it would not get nearly the viewers that Total Biscuits tournament will get for a couple different reasons, including just it's the same as when NASL got 15,000 watching a Go for a C2 Cup, right? It's like people are like, well, this is how it should have been, so I want to watch it now. Whereas in the first place, there would have been a lot more people being like, oh, these players are just shitty. And then, of course, it's Total Biscuit, and he's going to rally his casual fan base, and so I think the tournament should be a big success. I mean, I haven't been able because we've been so busy with DreamHack, but like they're going to have live finals, and they're going to sync it up at something.
An MLG, right? Well,
Yeah.
sync it up with MLG.
Is it? Yeah. Did they say if it's going to be at Anaheim or if it's going to be at something in New York or?
He's
what
pretty
they're
blunt about this. I mean, there's a giant question mark on the guy's face saying, who really is the best player in America? Like,
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean,
That's the way
but-
he's selling it, but he's selling it really well because
And then he hits you with the wallet text.
I mean, first of all, Total Biscuit makes a lot of money.
Jesus.
This 10,000 is probably from his Twitch subscribers. that he's wanted and been doing a tournament, and it just felt like, well, I've been waiting to do a tournament for a while. I haven't done one in ages. Perfect storm, and just was able to make it.
It's good.
But
it's really good for the industry as well that someone. I mean, like everyone thinks I hate Adebisi, but it's a ballsy move, and you respect. I gotta respect that because it's kind of like Blizzard have said we're doing StarCraft, and everyone's a bit like, oh, what can we do and how can we do it? And Total Biscuit's like,
Fuck it. I'll
you
do
know,
it.
because he can take the risk in terms of $10,000 of his own money. He doesn't have to go to a sponsor and be like, do you want to sponsor this? Like, you know, normal esport organizations will do. So it's really cool that he is doing it for the reason it will show the rest of the industry what, you know, the viewership's going to look like, how much hype it's going to get, and of course there's going to be his fan base there, and you can maybe remove that if you're doing your own tournaments, but it will be something that will be like, how does this fit in? And I generally think it's very cool that he's doing it. You know, and the branding's very Total Biscuit-y, you know, straight to the point kind of thing. You know, it's like, who is the best American? And yeah, but it's pretty good. I mean, this is one in tournament I'm actually interested in watching just because of how StarCraft is in the industry right now with WCS or Blizzard. Sorry.
I like
Just
the
kind of changing
approach
the
of they're just taking the top 16 from the Grandmaster ladder and they're having a cutoff and so forth. So I mean, if you've got permanent residency in the States, top
play.
16 of those in the Grandmaster ladder get in.
Yeah.
There's a bit of controversy about win trading on the ladder.
Yeah, there was.
So,
that is brought up in the actual
I
article.
think they basically made like a little warning thing saying, you know, we didn't outright say this is wrong, but obviously it goes against the spirit of competition. So whoever was doing it, you've got a one-time reprieve, and anyone caught doing it, zero tolerance from now on.
What a big shitstorm it would be if A hacker got in, and B, someone was point boosting. Either one.
Yeah.
It would be such a mess. So I hope it goes smooth for him.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely possible for something like that.
I had an argument with Dan
With Artosis.
Artosis. I was basically saying that ladder is not a good way to kind of merge things into a system. It's like a pre-step, and then you take those ladder and then you put them into like tournaments held at the level, like automated run tournaments. And he was disagreeing with me. But I was saying also it would help viewership and stuff. But Dan was disagreeing with me. I was like, well, fuck.
Well, it's one of the most direct ways to get new names and new players into it if they're able to come out on the ladder.
Well, yeah, but
this
you,
is what
but
we've
you
talked
take
about
the
with
ladder.
DLC
You
for
take,
ages.
yeah, but you take the ladder, but that's not your final form in terms of where you take a tournament from. You take a ladder, and then you take that section of the ladder 4 times over a whole month prior to your main tournament, and you run those as tournaments. So the ones that have gone up there and cheated their way in, and if you've done something, probably won't make it out of the mini tournament where top 8 qualify or something. And, you know, and so, like, you know, the system, fuck it. I can't be bothered to go into tournament systems.
Well, we'll go ahead and move on then because we have a couple
You
player
once made
changes.
one for BLC, James? Is
Yeah.
that true? You like,
GLHF.gg, man.
You can't see me.
Alright, we got some player changes to go through real quick. So,
I
Puzzle
love the system.
I'm like an unappreciated artist.
joined. Yes,
Ahead of my time.
you are. Puzzle has
Gets
joined
me.
KT Rolster in the Korean scene, and in the EU scene, Todd and Salt the Wound have joined XNG.
Well, you skipped one of them.
Pardon me?
You skipped over one of the topics without a discussion.
Well, we can kind of put them. I mean, it's 3 player
Okay.
changes. So you got Puzzle joining KT Rolster. Thoughts?
Okay.
Hit us.
Interesting.
yeah.
Interesting.
Because
I think
I
sums it up.
don't get it. I'm not too sure how that worked.
It just seems kind of random
Because,
to
I mean,
have.
first of all, he was a player that quit StarCraft League,
For League, yeah.
comes back to StarCraft, plays DreamHack, goes to Casper team. It's weird.
Detective Apollo.
Yeah, I know. He's even got the squinty eyes going and
This is
everything.
like a start of a whole series
Something
of
is
TV
afoot.
shows for you.
Is Total Biscuit saying "fuck the man"?
Somehow this all connects, but I'm missing something.
I'm missing a vital clue here.
I
I
mean,
don't get it.
the only other players that went, because I mean, you can basically consider him formerly ESF, so forth. You know, it's actually interesting. Maybe this has to do because you look at the other players from ESF who went to Casper. You've got Parting, who is just like the huge name that Casper's like, we want this guy because he's big. But then otherwise, it's all been these like Slayers players, right? Dark, I believe Brown, and Puzzle was also a Slayers player. So it's kind of weird. I would have thought.
I don't know
Coco
where you're
would end
going
up
with this, Mike. I'm sorry. You're
No,
going to
it's
make it a
just
little
that
bit clearer.
it's a pattern, Semmler.
And
Do you know what separates like intelligent? I believe mammals and intelligent species from non-intelligent.
Is
They can
this
recognize
face
patterns.
To Semmler's face.
Mike, also, I just want to share a congratulations
Deep breath.
to you
What's
as
that?
well. It just looks like you've got a fantastically sized manhood over there. Like,
That's a pants tent. Have you ever seen Curb Your Enthusiasm? That's what happens. Yeah.
you know,
You know.
Now it's migrated. It's going down his leg.
You know what? It is
Mike,
what it is.
that's great for you, though, Mike.
See, there's a difference between me, Semmler, James, and yourself, because you're like that. I'm covered up my legs in a notepad, and they've got a table.
No, it doesn't. You got a mild mound
You,
over
on the
there.
other hand,
Let's continue to look at each other's cocks.
It's been a recurring theme this show.
Yeah, Mike, you've shown your interest already.
all right, Todd.
And salt the
Joining
wound.
XMG. Well, Salt the Wound, I can see because he's a nice up and comer and he's doing really well as of recent. Todd, though, joining a team, Detective Apollo, is back, and I never thought this would happen again because I smartly predicted him to become a full-time caster in the near future.
And you would think,
ESL.
what was leading you to that conclusion?
I
He
think
spoke to Todd, and Todd said, "I want to be a full-time caster in the near future."
Let's let it follow.
No. This is without talking to him. It makes sense.
His YouTube and stuff, all that kind of background. Todd's been doing.
Well, Todd's been trying to break into the casting scene for a long time, right? He's been trying to cast events, he's trying to do YouTube videos, he's not playing as much, he's not doing well competitively in StarCraft 2, and now he's casting WCS,
Exactly.
where they need somebody full time because Claris is going to solo cast it. So Detective Apollo put 2 and 2 together and thought that Todd would become full-time caster, but now he's just joined XMG.
Could it be that XMG are looking for an angle just to get a caster, a well-known caster on their board?
I don't think so because I'm pretty sure if I was, I think he's indecisive about what he wants to do because I think he can be presented with a full-time job, but I think he still wants to play, which is why he's got an XMG team.
This sounds very familiar somehow. In control. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure, so I don't know. I don't know how that's going to unfold.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll stay on XMG. And
Honestly, when I look at it, I wish people say there's been some criticism of you mentioned In Control. Richard Lewis was on about you should just retire and be a full-time caster. And It's just when I look at it, I would love to see if Todd wanted to be a full-time caster, just be like this guy, start playing random, and then be a full-time caster. I think he'd do great because when I listen to his commentary, in my head, I just see this guy who all I've seen is just so much complaining about Broodlords on Twitter, And I think his commentary would get so much better if he played random. And so when it's you kind of cling on to that being a player, you can't level up your commentary in some ways, right?
what's this Jenna?
And I mean, even during DreamHack, he was tweeting, complaining about Metavax and whatnot.
Apparently, wait, what's the date today? That's old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Jenna's tournament, not Total Biscuits, guys.
We have to make that perfectly clear, apparently.
Sorry, Jenna. It's also Total Biscuits team and all the other stuff that Total Biscuit gets credit for. Sorry, Jenna.
All right. Well, Todd, indecisive. Salt the Wound, though, that's kind of we didn't mention him too much. Do you have any comments as far as that's concerned?
I haven't really seen any of his games, but I've heard his name a bunch before from different people saying he's good, and
Todd.
Salt the Wound.
Yeah, no, I've never heard of Todd before, Apollo.
You said his game. You haven't seen his games recently.
I haven't seen Todd's games recently either.
So yeah, I don't know what's going to become of Todd. More so than Salt the Wound. Salt the Wound's just player XMG. Todd, don't know. We'll see in the next coming months, right?
Right. That's really it. It's WCS EU as well. I mean, that could be what tips him over.
Yeah.
But we'll go ahead and move on from this. So those were just some of the player changes that have been happening in the scene recently. Some other European news, actually, is that Team Acer have opened up a gaming house in Germany, and MMA is the first to move into it.
Bum. Is MMA in the WCS Europe?
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
So-
He's one of the three Koreans.
Is it in
4
Cologne?
Koreans that are competing?
The house, the team house?
Yeah.
Where is it?
It's in Berlin, outside of Berlin.
6 hours drive from
4
hours on a train.
Right, Detective Apollo comes in again here, James. And I'm gonna need your backup.
Yeah.
Why have they brought? What happened to Axiom Acer deal? Like, if MMA is coming to stay in Europe, is he not playing for Axiom now?
I think they were commenting on that, and yeah, I mean, I don't know, their whole GSTL roster seems kind of fucked to me, because pretty much all these Axiom players are going to get to the round of 16. I mean, how many do they have in WCS North America? They got Ryung, so when I remember off the top of my head. Crank. So, I mean, if all those players get to the round of 16, you got MMA going to Europe. I mean, I don't really see their GSTL team sticking together that well.
Yeah. So it depends on the partnership as well. How long was it for? Like
it's for the season, at least.
Oh. Wow.
I mean, they're not going to be like, let's play 3 rounds and then fuck it. Like,
just to make it perfectly clear, Alicia, Crank, Hart, and Ryung.
So 4 Axiom players, and their roster is... Who else do they have? They have Mia.
But who's on the Acer team? Nurtio,
Scarlet,
MMA, Scarlet. Am I missing anyone?
Pretty sure that's it, isn't it?
Bly, I mean...
Acer Bly, of course.
But that's... In terms of being in Korea, it's just...
No,
Scarlet
but I mean
right
as
now.
a whole.
Oh.
Bly, who else am I missing?
Paranoid.
I actually can't... this thing's freaking slow.
Paranoid. I think that's it.
I wonder if they're going to bring everyone together in this house, whether they're going to recruit new players and looking to branch out.
When I saw this, I was kind of like, yeah, I wonder if this is a gaming house or just like an apartment for MMA to play in when he's playing in WCS Europe. Like,
so they have Scarlet, they have Paranoid, Nurtio, MMA, and let me see, Bly and Dark Hydra. Does Dark Hydra?
I don't know who that is.
It's weird to me that they put it in Berlin instead of Cologne, because Cologne's going to become that center place. It's going to become where the players go for the offline segment.
Right.
How long is it? It's actually Munich. I made a boo-boo.
Oh.
How far is Munich from Cologne? Do you know, James?
Yeah, really far.
How far?
Well, I can
Really
tell you in a
far?
second.
Well,
It's in the article.
How far?
Well, how long's a piece of string?
9 inches, maybe?
Depends how you travel.
What about train? How far a train?
What kind of train? Give me the specs.
Speed train.
Yeah, but what's all trains are speed trains.
250 kilometers an hour.
Almost the tank engine train.
Alright, I'm going on Google Maps.
I know, I have to
I
right
have
now.
no idea, Munich, actually.
600 kilometers, 6 hours.
5 hours and 8
4
minutes. 5 hours and 8 minutes. Hold on. If you're taking what is that?
Well,
It looks
that's
like
a long-
cars. That's
well,
driving.
If you think about it, they don't necessarily need to live in Cologne. If they live in,
Well, it's not like LCS with a league format where you
Yeah.
play,
it is quite far.
8 things. It's like you play your round of 32 group in a
my
day.
answer was right. Because it's the same distance, it seems, from Berlin.
What the hell is this? Is this the charger from Mac?
Yes. It's so small.
It's funny.
Well, watch them try and figure out how to get
I
it.
don't know where it goes.
I did it.
Oh, it's magnetic, I think.
Yes, it is.
Whose MacBook is that? Is that
Is that
Bruno?
Bruno? That's Bruno's.
Yeah.
It's not.
Who else?
Shit.
All right, were you trying to make a point or something, or?
Yeah, I was talking about how you don't need to really live in Cologne, I suppose, do you? You can just come in for your games, even in a hotel apartment for a week. Piss off again.
Could also just fly in.
Can you fly from Munich to Cologne?
Probably,
Most
yeah.
likely.
But,
Isn't that more difficult?
Probably, what, an hour
Probably.
flight?
but yeah, I don't know. It depends what's... Like, I don't think ESL really know what to tell players to advise them maybe what would be good for them and the teams for WCS. Because otherwise, it's like with LCS, the League of Legends stuff, it's like everyone's like, right, you're moving to Cologne because you're getting paid and this is happening, and everyone did. But I think the whole messaging of Blizzard is still being pretty piss poor.
LCS, they salary the players, so all these
Yeah.
players have a guaranteed amount of money they're making, and then it's like, and you're playing this many games over this time, whereas with WCS, it's like you lose in the round of 32, and then that's online, and then you go in Challenger League, and that's all online, so it's...
Especially
the
a lot for
structure.
their up-and-comers, too. They're not even in the Premier League, are they? So, what are you laughing at?
Well, this one's really fucking good. And
Am I gonna get it? Am I gonna get it?
Is it a picture? I
yeah.
go get.
No, go back to the
I
camera
got
of
one.
Apollo. There we go.
Wait,
Apollo,
wait,
look
wait,
at the
wait, wait,
camera,
wait, wait,
look at
wait,
the
wait,
camera,
wait, wait, wait,
cross
wait,
your
wait,
arms,
wait, wait. Is it? Wait, it's my left.
Other one. There you go.
And then
Wait.
look at... Yeah, that's it. Oh, yeah. And again? There's no difference.
That's right, guys.
Yeah.
He was in Stockholm recently, Justin
He
Bieber.
was.
He's right here.
He was there the day before DreamHack, actually.
That is funny. I love this 1 hour. Well, I mean 1 hour, 30-second delay even.
Have we got a delay on the stream?
Yeah, about 30 seconds.
It depends.
Not put on here.
It's not instant, James. The internet is fast.
Did
but-
you, talking about Justin Bieber, did you see Coral's Justin Bieber sign?
The thing is, people didn't get that in the DreamHack because basically Coral's this really mental.
He's actually the guy that runs
like,
DreamHack.
Like does all the video stuff for DreamHack, and because there were like these Justin Bieber concert before DreamHack at the same kind of venue, you know.
It was at the Globe.
Yeah, the Globe.
Globe,
Yeah. So someone had a sign that was like, "Please, Bieber, give me my first kiss," and it had all this shit.
Oh, yeah.
And so Coral took it and sat in the front row.
That's really
and was
funny.
just like looking at the camera, like. And I don't know what the audience knew what they felt about that because obviously everyone there was like, okay, yeah, Justin Bieber, they seen him, and everyone at home was been like, what the fuck is this
that's
guy
funny.
doing? But that's Coral. He was the same guy that the Dota 2 walked onto our stage wearing a trench coat and shorts, trying to fix Andy's headset, and we put the camera on him and it looked like he was a homeless person.
I love those DreamHack guys backstage. It's like there's so much talk about, you know, the DJ picking all the music and everything. And like, if you could see DreamHack backstage, literally there's just like 3 guys crowded around the one, you know, soundboard. And then whenever they pick a new song, then they bring the chat up, and then they're all just like,
yeah.
"Oh, what's going on in the chat?" And they're just like,
Yeah.
"Oh well, you know."
That's really funny.
It's just
that
like they
was.
put on "Who Let the Dogs Out," and everyone's spamming
I've got the playlist.
puppy
I've got the
face and
playlist.
everything.
There was a thread, a Reddit thread where they
It
posted
was a proper. So you remember the Asus ROG tournament that James and In Control, and you got that famous GIF of In Control talking about what James does when he tells a joke and then goes to re-chat. It was exactly that with the music guys. It was all honesty because there was a stream delay of 30 seconds to a minute. Who were, go on, and they were all 3 of them, or 4 of them even, and they're like, go on, put that on, go on, put it on, and then they'll be like, they're waiting until
Yeah.
the chat, and then the chat will go, lol, this song, and they're like, hey,
when they Rick rolled everybody.
yeah,
Oh,
they
yeah.
Fucking put it on. Wait, and you're like, are they going back live? Put it on
It
again.
was so- and it was because there was so many 80s, 90s.
Yeah. Dude, they had some
classic
great
cheesy
shit. I mean, the
tunes.
Men in Black theme song, fucking Baby Got Back.
Yeah, they were just, every song they were all doing it.
It's so
Dude,
good.
and there was a point I went backstage and a couple of them were dancing.
It was Coral.
I think that was Coral doing a lot of dancing back
I
there.
don't know, it was just all a lot of them. They were funny though.
So,
Where were we, Semmler?
Yeah,
well, one thing that we have to keep in mind, and that was pointed out in chat earlier, is that there is paid travel for if you are living in the things. I mean,
If
sure,
you
he's
live
gonna
in
have
the
to travel,
continent.
but if he's a registered, you know,
Wait,
So MMA is going to get a train
resident,
ticket.
he's gonna get a paid travel. We all know what happens there, right? No.
can you
Oh,
buy a
God.
house in Germany, register there, and then go move back to Korea? And when you say they fly you in, you'd be like, "What?
I do live there.
I do live
Yeah.
here.
So
Look,
you fly in
here's my
resident.
address.
Yeah, I'm just currently in Korea right now." So
I'd get the most expensive. I'd get the team house as far away as possible to the location.
Just to be a dick.
yeah, that would cost them an extra $100.
It's $100, but an extra 6 hours for
Yeah.
you.
Have you ever heard of Ryanair? Oh, it's great.
Where were we, Semmler?
So I think we're going to wrap up on that part. We've said everything that needs to be said.
What were we talking about again?
We were talking about the teammates are opening up
Yeah,
their house in
okay.
Munich. Well, you know, we'll see what they decide to do with it, and also, you know, what goes on with Axiom if they're going to move all their players in there. It's really just kind of one of those wait and see situations. So be sure to stay tuned in the weeks to come, and we'll keep you up to date. Season 3 map pool has been revealed. It's actually our last bit of non-WCS related news. Problem is that I haven't seen any of these maps in action, so I'm wondering actually if you guys have had.
I haven't seen any games played
yeah.
on them. I've seen them though. They're, I mean, the more important thing is they're finally fucking getting rid of Daybreak. 10 years later, thank God. And then they're getting rid of Newkirk and Core City. Core City. It's just like Jesus Christ, what were they thinking?
Look at these new maps.
But I like these maps. I'm not a huge fan of Zero's Prime. It feels kind of like a.
What do you like? What do
boring
you think
map.
about this one?
I'm the most
there's a-
excited about this
Can you
map
click it?
because
Yeah.
Load it. If you
Click
click
it,
it,
click
Oh, I
download
think.
it.
Oh, yeah, there we
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
So I mean, this map got like panned, like on the Team Liquid topic. They they posted on their community news and they put a poll on each map. The community hated this map, but I think it's cool because this map, it's like I look at this map and I'm like, I'm going to see different games. Like and I mean, HOTS is still new enough that we're seeing a lot of innovation still and different builds.
Do you know where they spawn? Is it top left, top
All
right?
right,
or-
Semmler, I want you to try and figure out where they're going to
Kind of
spawn.
looks like a dead chicken with
here,
its
here.
middle cut out.
Oh,
You scroll up a
butterfly
bit,
chicken.
like the wings, like a chicken when it's all clucked and
Yeah,
stuff.
you flatten
You got to
it.
continue with the game. It'll be a good one. Semmler, where did is it 2? Is it a 4-player map out of BC? Just give him a bit of a.
It also
Oh, actually, Semmler, is it a 2 or 4-player map first
It's
of
a
all?
2-player map.
Okay, where do they spawn?
it also looks like a silhouette of a naked girl with shoulder pads on her knees.
What do you see?
Where do you reckon they spawn, Semmler?
I'm
Come on,
looking.
James can do the next one.
I'm
You do this
looking.
one. Where do you reckon? Come on, put your bets.
Oh, it's just like it seems like top left and top right, really, because you have
I
1,
reckon-
2, and 3, and then
I
you have
reckon
access.
it's
to
Be
the
confident, Semmler.
fourth. But you guys acting like pricks. It's really like this one bridge that seems so close.
Come on, Semmler. Be confident.
Then again, you can block
Top
it.
left, bottom right.
You can supply deeper block it. Build a bunker.
I don't know.
All right, so where?
No, middle right, middle left.
I think
Middle right, middle left.
as
So here,
well,
here?
But I think that's kind of
Well then, okay.
I don't know.
Semmler,
Like the
believe
bridge
in
all the way up
yourself.
Here.
between
Occam's
middle-
razor, Semmler.
between the top. They spawn by the minerals.
Well, they have to have a ramp.
No, I don't.
All right, so where's the only one force field size ramp on this map, Semmler?
Up there.
All right, so what do you think that means?
That's what they.
I think it means you need to go get fucked.
That's where they spawn, right? Top left.
There you
right.
go.
Yeah.
There you go. Go on,
Uh,
open another one, Semmler.
No, but hold on. So this map, yeah, that
this is
really
the thing,
fun
this
game.
is
I
the
like
thing.
this game.
I know we're gonna do it. We got 2 more maps. Don't worry.
So, all right.
No, but just to speak on this map, I think it was like pretty vastly. The community was like, "I'm gonna thumbs down that map," but I mean, it's gonna be interesting, fun games on this map. I think the third base might be a little bit iffy. I'm not sure which third base.
Yeah, you go here, or you break down the rocks and get this one.
Yeah, so we'll see how well that works, but I like the overall concept, and I think having maps with this kind of symmetry is really important. The other one, Newkirk City, was just a bad map, so I mean,
Let's go to the next
it's
one. I
fine.
think-
What about the rush distance on this? How big of a rush distance is there?
Well,
Because
the
of that
thing is, the
small
rush
one
distance is
bridge
pretty
there.
short, but it's just through that little narrow thing, so
Yeah.
you know...
I think this is a bad Zerg map already. Just
Yeah,
looking
it
at
seems
I
like
mean,
you're gonna get a lot of
Imagine
one-base
if you
play off
spawn
of
in
this
top
shit.
left, top right, and you take the third base, which is to the north, right? You kind of, I feel.
Well, you probably don't
in a
want to
bit
take
of a
that
bad-
one.
Yeah, but okay then.
You
Good
gotta
luck
go
trying
here?
to take a third base against an aggressive player.
Yeah.
You know, you got break rocks. And
All right, well,
whatever.
I said
We'll
the
see.
issue is with the third base, so
Yeah.
you can
Seems
just say you agree with
Go
me.
to the next one, somewhere.
But you agree with the
Right,
overall
so-
concept that having a different map and
Yeah,
this
I
kind
like
of
different
symmetry is
maps.
good.
All right, next map. I want to play.
All right.
All right, load up. I'll go this one.
Whoa.
Oh,
What?
Semmler's PC broke.
What? This game.
Switch to the camera.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me get this fixed.
This
real
was a
quick. Let's
city
see.
game.
Ah, there
Oh,
we go.
Oh, yay.
All right, you want to guess?
You
James?
can use like control and the scroll.
Now,
wheel.
why didn't I get this map?
Top right and bottom left. Top right, bottom left.
Damn, James is good.
James, fucking good.
This map seems okay though. It's not particularly like exciting looking, but
not like this big circles where,
it seems okay.
Shut up, Semmler. You didn't say it.
Yeah, I don't mind this. It looks pretty good. To
1-0.
be fair.
All right. Let's see. Let's keep moving on.
All right, what's the last one?
Jesus. All right, and then let's see. Zero's Prime. No, we've learned this.
Oh, you're getting faster, Semmler.
Top
All
right,
Semmler.
bottom left. No, damn. There's more spawn points. You can spawn top right, top left, and bottom right. 4 spawn points.
Wow, see James.
James.
I know it's
Just-
crazy,
you
man.
need to be
Especially when it was like
faster.
4-player map at the beginning. Okay.
Did it say that?
I
I
mean,
didn't
Yeah.
read.
it said
I'm just
4-player
in the
map.
zone. I don't read one of
So
them.
do we officially call that a?
What do you think?
2-1
What do you
to
make of this
James?
map, though? What do you make of this?
All right.
Well, we've already got Adebisi's favorite out of this. I guess Apollo. Do you like this? Have you had
no,
the time to take a look at
no,
them at all?
No,
No.
no. I'm not a big fan of the middle.
When you blow your eyes,
Yeah,
a bit, you
it
can
feels
see a demonic
Shakura
rabbit
Splatoey.
Yeah, it's a big.
covered by lava.
It's a big. I feel like it can get cut in half easily. I think it's going to be very difficult for anyone to engage in that middle because it is just 2 pathways.
Yeah.
So I'm not a big fan of the middle of the map. If it was opened up more, maybe. It feels a bit too turtley, a bit too defensive. Big maps. I mean, you get like quite easy 3-4 bases.
Yeah,
here,
really,
and
it
then
seems.
just with this middle choke point, which is very difficult to pass. So I'm not the biggest fan of it.
Yeah.
Siege tanks and widow mines, and good luck, fucking luck.
But you know, I think this bit's a bit scary as well, because if you kind of blow your eyes, you know, that looks like a nose, and that looks like a bit of a mouth, and then you've got some weird bunny ears going on up here, and then scary bunny eyes, like something out of Donnie Darko, and he's coming up from hell because there's all the lava. So I wouldn't go around here.
Just to point out,
James Pills.
just to point out, Trance actually never did come back.
No, it's upstairs.
What a prick.
He's upstairs watching. Dota.
And also, I guess since we're kind of getting towards the end of this, we
Well-
should mention about WCS just finished.
Well, hold on.
Well, that's the thing. We're getting
No,
behind
as
this
in,
right
as
now.
in. Oh yeah.
Just momentarily.
Hold on, I want
Okay,
to
never mind.
mention about the maps. What I'm looking forward to was once again the Team Liquid map making contest, because that, I'm not sure about the time frames, but it's been open for like a week or two now. So I think that's where we're going to get the good maps. And while speaking on maps, and this will transition nicely to WCS, is that we need some like fucking unified map pool for WCS, because it's stupid. Because the start station that ESL uses is cross only, no one else uses that, and then of course GSL has some of their own maps, and this is going to be dumb when it goes to the season finals, and it is also just kind of dumb in general. So
Yeah, but this is something we've been talking about for ages. Like, all the tournaments need to unify. They all need to just communicate and get
that's
a fucking
old, Sean.
map pool like that. It's something that's been on the table for a long time. It doesn't seem to get resolved.
No, but this is different because that was DreamHack and IPL and MLG and NASL all doing their own thing.
Yeah.
This is WCS.
This is WCS we're talking about, so...
It kind of blows my mind that WCS doesn't have unified maps, and hopefully that'll get fixed for Season 2.
Agreed. All right, so now we can go ahead, Sean, and move into the WCS news.
We should also mention that DreamHack was a Tier 1 tournament, by the way, for WCS
Oh, yeah.
points.
That's right.
Sorry, Blizzard.
The first tier 1.
Yeah. So, 750 points.
Yeah.
Which basically means now Nani was leading Europe, Lenok is leading Korea, and it's the equivalent of how many
Thanks,
points?
it's
It's 9th to 12th
9th to
place,
12th, yeah.
which is roughly halfway.
So it's still quite a good little Kickstarter, but but no one really knew in the community what DreamHack was going to be, Tier 1 or Tier 2.
yeah, until the day of the tournament.
Well, they only announced it, a couple of days before,
It
and
was Tier 1.
it'll be interesting to see which tournament ends up being Tier 2.
Exactly.
And
Total
if,
Biscuits one. That will be a Tier 2.
I don't even know. It's one even
guaranteed.
tier.
I don't think it should be able to give WCS points because it's region locked, and WCS isn't region locked.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing is, to me, anything region locked, and unless it's like WCG and then the finals gives it because that is global participation, but anything region locked and anything invite only. So if there are more invite only tournaments in the future because people are busy running WCS, then I think it's really messed up if those tournaments are giving WCS points, because if some players just have more access to earn more WCS points, it is tremendously unfair. I mean, it was already pretty unfair that this DreamHack was giving WCS points when the players didn't know until they were signed up and blah, blah, blah. Like, some teams may have sent more players. Some teams might have done...
This is going to be a thing. It's like our tournament's going to be able to determine their rosters of competing players until,
Well,
they figure it out.
when is it, like, does a tournament have to go to Blizzard and be like, hey, we've got this many Koreans, this many Europeans, this many North Americans, this tier of player playing at our tournament, and this big a prize pool? This is now tells how many points you get, because, I mean, a big criteria for players going may be how many points...
Exactly, but that's the thing. That's what I'm trying to say. Is like, should even when the tournament is being organized in the first place, they don't even know who's attending yet. Should they be approaching Blizzard and being like, "Well, we're planning on it being this big, and this is we plan on having it be this open." So is that tier 1, tier 2? What are the criteria that they have to fill out? That's the thing, and then the
How
players
big
can
and how
decide.
open?
The teams can decide. Okay, this is worth our money, our time, and your effort. Taking you away from WCS or maybe giving you a chance.
What is it?
I got shocked. I made a boot. Well, made a small mistake. That's
boo-boo.
why I was would
Okay.
give my O face. 750 points is 9th to 12th in the season finals.
Yeah, no, it's
like-
half of winning a
it's third to
GSL.
fourth
Yeah, that's
for
Yeah.
Premier League,
Yeah.
which is actually GSL.
get
Premier League GSL.
You get 1,500 points.
no, you said it wrong.
You get 15. I
You said
said
it wrong.
I said it's half of winning GSL, whatever.
It's not half winning GSL. Premier League is GSL.
Yeah, so if you win it, you get 1,500 points, and if you win DreamHack, you get 750 points. So it's half of winning it.
Okay, you're right. I'm sorry.
Is Quake live offline? It's been offline for 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
But there was a statement made by the devs saying that we're working very hard on getting it back online again. So there's that.
Yeah,
What's
sorry.
next?
Yeah. What's next is our WCS news. So WCS continues with Group C on the 30th, Group D on the 1st of May, and Group E on the 2nd of May this week. But I think it's ongoing right now as well. I just saw updates on Twitter that apparently Thorzane made it through his group over Rhett and Titan.
Did Straylock?
Yeah, first place
Straylock
4-0.
That's pretty sick.
Well,
You know-
2-0, 4-0.
You know what I'd love Blizzard to do as
What's
a
that?
community manager in esports department is actually, you know, you have like mailing lists when you go sign up to like a game publisher and stuff, and they send you information if you want it on like new things happening in their game once a month. I wish Blizzard would do something at least for people that want StarCraft news. It doesn't have to be a mailing list, but something on like a weekly basis where they could wrap up what the fuck's happening in each of the WCSs, because they have a huge community team, right?
Right.
And if they posted something on their website, like this is what's happened this week in WCS, and then we wouldn't have to do as much work. We could just look at that website once a week. And talk
Well,
about
I'll-
it.
Every time it's
Well,
probably
they just-
let me just say that
you
I'm planning on doing just that on my show. It's going to
You're
be one of the.
gonna make it
it's
sick.
going to be one of the things. No,
This is
not a
what we
website,
call- this is
obviously, but I'm going to be keeping all of that, or try and keep that day to day and then weekly.
Wait, you work for Blizzard Community Management?
Fuck
in
no,
esports?
I know. I'm just saying-
Congratulations.
I know. Obviously, you're saying it's Blizzard,
That's
but
huge.
if you're looking for a way to stay on top of things, I'm going to try and work on that. So,
Stay on top of things, like the kitten.
like the kitten. I had one in my
R.I.P.
arms. I had one right there. I was winning, and then the other one just decided to commit suicide.
No, but see,
That kitten did not stay on top of.
Blizzard actually, I think, just put their first thing out that was like.
Oh,
I
they
mean,
did?
It's not that, but
Oh,
I
it's
don't know.
the hub?
Go to BattleNet, and then it's not a hub, but it's a list of the games for this week, and then it's a list of the WCS points that have been earned, and then they say like, if you want to learn more, we recommend going to Team Liquid and Liquipedia.
yeah.
And they referred to Liquipedia as Liquidpedia. So whoever wrote that, not a
You
real
can tell, man. They've
StarCraft
got their
fan.
finger on the pulse.
Is someone typing on your Twitch account? Like, yeah, they are.
Yeah, fucking trans.
He's got
I
it,
told
man.
you we'd do this.
Hey,
fucking guy.
Oh, I was
Well, let's
gonna
see,
say
what's,
something there.
what's-
I was-
Can you
I was
check my
actually gonna
Twitter?
say-
Just go to my
What's Mike
Twitter.
said recently?
Sudie's. What?
I was just going to say, Semmler is actually doing a YouTube series. So he is actually going to be giving you kind of like daily bursts of esport news. And he's been working on it for a little while now.
Fucking prick.
Huh?
Go to my Twitter, please.
Like Tara
It's
Babbitt.
definitely
That's
on
my
it.
Twitter user.
No, go to mine.
Yeah.
See what he said on it.
I
'Cause
wasn't
if he-
thinking
if he
about
wasn't
Babcock
before, he
when I
is
played it.
now.
I go with it. Okay.
Go to it, you prick.
So what have you said? So in the past hour, hold on.
You got the phone. I muted it.
You muted them. Oh, okay. So what's going on?
I don't see anything
Is people Trans isn't tweeting.
Yeah, you're fine, man.
You behaving?
Trance is the one who's not behaving.
You like children over there.
No, Trance is like a child.
Apollo's like when he points something out on the screen, he like leans back and points and laughs.
Yeah.
Like a
Look,
very-
it's really funny. Like Adebisi keeps chatting in the chat. It's really funny. He's getting so angry.
I'm not angry. It's just like I
just
really
sitting
don't
at your
care.
PC.
I mean, if he's going on my Twitter, that pisses me
He's
off.
on
Because
your
then, like people in the chat, it's like they're watching the show, so they know it's just Trance being a dumbass.
Look again.
Look at him.
Were you logged into Twitch on your account on his laptop?
Where is
Yes.
Oh, so when he stormed out and took the
Yeah.
laptop. Okay, so he had something else better to do than be on the show with us, so he's gone home to watch the show. Trans.
The trolls aren't even that good.
Oh,
Joe,
he's upstairs apparently.
Summer. You cannot trust.
he's got Trance's phone.
Wait,
Oh, he can't block it.
Now I can see where the finger dirt is.
Do you know what
and
the funniest
figure
part
it
is,
out.
James? James, do you know what the funniest part is? Look in chat. Like,
He's
James
Romanian,
is
John.
cool. Look in chat. Look at that. See, James is cool. That's really funny. How did Trance do that?
I think if I just keep getting it wrong, doesn't it lock you out eventually and make you have to?
Wait, I've connected the dots. But
What do you do?
Trans just wrote, James is cool in chat.
You know, you guys, like...
Props to whoever found the pictures of me and my brother, by the way. Those are
Semmler
old.
enjoys when people creep on his Facebook, guys, so keep it up.
Look, he just wrote,
Nah.
Adebisi sucks.
what do you think
my brother
of
and
the
I.
situation that Trans
All right,
is
let's
saying all
just
these
can we
things?
can we just go with this shit?
You're
right,
the fucking host.
wait.
You're the one who demands to be at that
Wait,
PC to be the
our
host,
host-
Semmler.
Let's just get to the bottom of this.
This show is about to go full
So,
retard, guys.
yeah,
It is,
what do you
man.
think of Trans's statements up from upstairs? Is he a bit immature?
I don't know. He's getting a Happy Meal next time, I guess. 'Cause
Or
Look, he's laughing at you. He just ha 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 ha.
or is it the fact that Sean writes it down himself and it's not Trans, and then shows it to you and says,
Oh.
and he's been doing it for the whole fucking.
It was me. That face.
Jesus.
That's an own face. Wow, you're slow.
It's like we're
I wasn't
so
looking at
childish. It's just like
It was so funny.
Only it was like you were only in on the joke though. It was only you.
Yeah,
you
only
had to
they-
wink at me.
How did you figure it out? Oh,
Because he winked at me.
Oh, see?
He was like, and he wrote James is cool, and you weren't paying attention because you were trying to MacGyver into his phone.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep at it.
The funny thing is because I was typing in, and I didn't realise I was
childish.
Adebisi, and then I looked at a picture, and then he saw that he wrote in there, and I was like, wait a minute, this is gonna be fun.
Wow.
It's like we're at 15.
Woohoo! Yeah,
well, that
we
was
really
good.
are.
That was
Alright.
good.
It's good for
So
you.
WCSU continues. WCS
Sorry,
NA
I'm
has
just sweating my
started.
balls off. That's why I want this show to keep going.
Keep going.
Well,
I mean, to end. Well,
Yeah.
to get through it.
you never want it to end
Translate turn the stream
at
off.
BC Snow.
Okay.
Aye.
Oh, you took my internet off, that's what.
I unplugged the cable, the internet cable from his thing, and then.
All right.
Ruined
Semmler,
it. Ruined it. All right, let's just keep
in
moving.
charge.
So WCSU continues. WCSNA has started, fantastic, but also WCSNA Challenger League qualifiers have been revealed. Now, this is the open qualifier for Master and GM. The 512 competitors allowed, top 8 get invite into invite-only qualifier. Seriously, gonna rewrite this document. All right, so what do you guys have to say about this sort of thing?
Mike knows everything. Come on,
Yeah.
Mike.
The Challenger League qualifier format leaves a bit to be desired, but whatever. The Premier League broadcast was good. They had a lot of good assets, a lot of really good graphics. They had, I like they were using like little player heads on like the little graphic thing. It looked
Yeah.
kind of cool. I think they could have done more with like the team logos on there and some stuff, but it was good. They had nice like player cards.
I feel like I thoroughly know the New York skyline by now, too.
I like the New York
Well, maybe
skyline
you guys should turn off
pictures.
ad blocks so you actually get those advertisements instead of just seeing the
Maybe
skyline.
Sweden doesn't have ad blocks on.
I
Ad
like
blocks,
the New York
ads, skyline.
skylines.
Jesus.
You kind of just went over as much to be desired, the actual qualifier in terms of the format. And why?
I don't know.
You've buggered up
I
my.
can't remember now.
Oh, that's why.
Look at this. He can't get on the internet.
Oh, I can't. You've done something. You. Oh, well,
Oh, come on,
cable?
Scriff.
Well, where's the bloody right cable? This thing.
That's
is,
the only cable. No, that's it.
Isn't
That's
the
right.
MacBook
That's
Pro,
Cat
man?
5 cable right
Just don't
there.
break it, Apollo.
Alright,
Don't
well,
break it.
internet
I'm
cable.
done.
Just don't break it.
You're not done? Oh, you're done with that. Okay, good. I was like, a second person's going to walk out on the show? Jesus Christ.
Shows like this, they always go good.
This
They
show
have
could have
highs.
been 2 hours.
No,
it could have.
it could have been 2 hours.
The Dota thing
It's
was
also
about
too
an hour and
fucking
15
hot
minutes.
down here, man.
It is hot. I think
And
that's
It's
what's
so
distracting.
fucking hot. I think people just get tired. You
Yeah.
start getting worn down. You
Why
get
didn't
tired.
You guys have the door open.
Yeah, go figure.
No, we're not having
Because-
a break.
No, I'm having a break.
Let's have a break. No, we're gonna
Yeah, let's take a
we're gonna
break.
end this abortion of a show. That's what we're gonna do.
All right, so but that's essentially yeah. I mean, okay. So the registrations. Let's see. The registration opens on Thursday, the 25th, and it's open to only Grandmaster and Master players who wish to compete. We can take a look at the format here on my screen. Thank you, Scriff. As you go and open the door. Yes, thank God. It's gonna be.
Incredible picture.
again.
I forget what my beef was with this. It just I don't know. Once again, I mean, I prefer more qualifiers as opposed to just one
Big one, yeah.
double in bracket. I think when they all the players who got fucked in the main qualifier by having to play people who got DQ'd, they got invited to this open qualifier, which is like, well, it's like, okay, you invited someone to an open qualifier. It's an open qualifier. I think they should have been invited to the second stage, because in this qualifier, it was like the Chinese players were eliminating each other, and it's like, I think they should have been in deeper because Calm eliminated Jim, I think. Maybe that was just in the upper bracket. I don't know. But I don't know. All these qualifiers. I mean, the thing is, it's all once. They're going to do it differently next time. I mean, I still have that beef where there's only 8 new players coming into Challenger League, which is kind of fucked up because that basically means there's going to be 8 new Koreans per season, and then foreigners is going to keep bleeding out of it.
Exactly.
But yeah.
All right, Detective Apollo's come up with something.
I can see you've been writing on your notepad.
Here's a question. Talking about, qualifiers and so on, qualifiers more specifically. Which tournament hosted the best online qualification setup?
Well, you only have a choice of 2.
For StarCraft 2, that is. So exclude your other games, please.
Was there like a Team Liquid one? They did one?
Oh yeah, the TSS.
Fuck it, James. How did you get that so fast?
I don't know. I'm smart.
Team Liquid Star League
Yeah.
hosted the best when it comes to online qualification.
Reasons.
Because there was not one, there was multiple. There was like, I don't know exactly, there was like 12. And it was a point system within the qualification.
Top 2 qualify and then points.
Rest point. So if you're
Or
a
maybe just
consistent
top 1
player
and then points.
and
I
you
don't
got
remember.
top 8 12 times in a row, you're probably qualified because that's a lot of freaking points. We didn't always have to be top tier, top 1, 2. Always. That was the best online qualification setup. There's one. It rewards consistency.
It's
I wholeheartedly agree.
it's silly because if ESL had used that kind of format, they could have had only the winners qualify. So you get 4 qualifiers, 4 winners, or I mean, you could even have more qualifiers. It would be nice, but I mean, short time frame, 4
This
qualifiers.
is the thing.
And then you go points for the rest of the Premier League invites.
Yeah.
And then you go down and do Challenger League via points too. So they could have had less things.
Hit it on the head.
And it would have worked out really nicely. And then, these players like Wellmu, who was like,
Bling.
Wellmu, Bling, Panda Tank, all these guys who
got fucked out of it.
consistently did well, didn't quite get top 2. They would actually still get rewarded by being like, okay, well, I'm still guaranteeing myself a place in Challenger League by doing well in these qualifiers. But now they're going to have to go and play in another Challenger League qualifier and start from
Scratch, pretty much.
scratch.
Is my mic okay, Scriff? People are complaining and so it's not.
Fucking done.
Oh, is it? Can you fix it?
Come up and move my mic.
All right, but Mike, I think you were making
Is
some
Mike?
very valid points there.
Unprofessional shot.
This all just comes down to it feeling so fucking rushed in the end.
No,
Like,
but
there was
I
no
mean that's
time.
not rush though,
All right.
because they could have done that for it's still 4 qualifiers. So I mean, and then they wouldn't have had to do Challenger League qualifiers,
But
so
not
it would
rush.
have
I
been
mean,
less.
with the announcement of everything, the communication between Blizzard and the leagues, and getting a good system set up, it all feels like it was just rushed out the door. Like, okay, this is good, go, run with it, and they didn't come up with the optimal system.
I like how you just undo the way he's tilted it and put it closer to your mouth, and you just pivot it away again right when he leaves.
We should also mention that people that got a little bit screwed over in the original qualifiers are invited into this.
Into what?
This qualifier we're talking about, aren't we?
Well, they got invited to the open part of the qualifier.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
what I
like
mean.
they didn't need to be invited. They can just sign up.
Oh.
I mean, the thing is, it was still, once again, only a 5-12 bracket. So it guaranteed they got in. I don't know how many people signed up. I think people might be just like, fuck it. Because I don't know how big the bracket was.
Yeah, so can we talk about WCS NA itself now? It started yesterday.
It's
Who's
not
Mike?
working.
Yeah, your mic is weird, people are saying.
Oh, thank you, Bruno. Thank you.
James's mic's not working.
Was this?
24
It's
seconds.
yeah. Is the mic working now?
Yeah.
Well, we'll know in
Bruno
30
just
seconds
told
now.
us it
Now.
was weird.
WCS NA. I'm going to put my hands up. I'm human. I was extraordinarily exhausted after DreamHack.
That's a pussy.
WCS NA started at 2 a.m. I didn't watch it. I watched the first few minutes and then I had to go to bed. I'm sorry.
Mic is fine.
But when it comes to discussion on WCS NA, I know I let you down, but this guy, Trooper, tell me all about
I
it.
watched
How
half of it.
good was it?
No, I mean, they had good assets ready. They had good transition stuff. Their little pre-show thing was concise, smooth. Still, they're just using the, you know that when Blizzard first announced WCS, that like little big rectangle that's cut into smaller rectangles that shows all the season, like that was still their graphic. Be like, this is how it's going to be.
Yeah.
But the thing is, those graphics really have to be provided by Blizzard because it's all WCS. So it was good.
I liked the New York skylines from what I saw. There was what we were watching today. I think we just looked at a quick VOD.
Yeah,
and
we
there
were
was
looking
lots
at
of
the VODs.
different shots, lots of different angles, nighttime, daytime.
Yeah,
I don't
it was
know where
quite
they got
cool.
the footage from though, because they didn't record it
Jesus Christ, what
themselves.
is it with you in New York? You've mentioned this 3 times.
It's so funny because with another one of the shots, it's just like a road and like it's like time lapse, so it's fast paced cars just driving. And he's like,
that- it
"Oh,
looked
well, this could be anywhere." I don't know that that's New York.
No, it looked like.
And he was like
Alright.
very let down or something. I don't know. This guy
Okay,
is
guys,
fucked
I've
in the
never lived
head.
in a
I
city.
think I know which one you're talking about. That looked
Have
like
you ever-
Brooklyn.
never-
I've never ever lived in a city.
What? You're living in one now?
Kind of.
Please, please.
It's a 30-minute bus ride.
That's not the same.
Do you know what the word
lived in a
"in"
city.
Never
means,
lived in a
Semmler?
city.
Yeah, I
so
come from Los
people,
Angeles, where everywhere is fucking Los Angeles.
This counts, right?
The tip counts.
What?
That's it.
Okay, fuck it is.
Yeah, I've never lived in a city, so maybe it's just because it's kind of cool to see for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm used to like trees and where I used to live,
Deer
we didn't
and
actually
shit.
have telephones in Wales. We usually, because it's such a small
Communicated
community,
by Raven.
You just kind of open the window and just yell to the next door neighbor, yell to the next,
Such a lie. You're such a bad liar.
we each
No,
had a
we all know you use the cups with string. Come on.
no, the string wasn't long enough. We each had for long distance calls because it was kind of hard to, because it became Chinese whispers. So by long distance calls,
Oh my god.
we had a house pigeon each.
Can you just mute him?
It's not even funny, man. It's just pathetic.
All right, let's keep going.
It's like when you ask a 5-year-old kid to tell you a joke,
But I like the sky.
and they don't understand what a joke is.
I'm just trying to explain. That's how I used to live. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to joke. I just like
Yeah. and
Please
the
speak
season-
Welsh.
but
Welsh. You, need
had
to prove. Are you a
phones.
Welshman?
huh?
You had landline telephones.
Is that what you're talking about?
You had
shit, man.
landline telephones, right?
Can we
When I grew
not
up, yeah.
talk about his Welsh upbringing?
Anyway, yeah,
for the love of
let's-
God.
WCSNA. I was just trying to explain my feelings towards seeing the skylines in New York.
And we're giving you so
because
much
you have
shit. I'm
no-
sorry. I'm sure it's a very
no
beautiful thing.
connections to him apart
Well, the
from you want to
skylines
go
I
there.
saw were silhouettes of trees and stuff. So
How do you feel about cities, Mike? Just anyone else? Anything you feel particularly fond of or haven't visited?
back to
Alright.
what I was trying to talk about is I wonder where they got the content from for these. Well, there's a couple of helicopter shots. I don't know what.
I mean, hey, MLG.
Fuck
Anyone?
you.
You haven't been to the city? Anyone's got a helicopter. Ooh. You don't
Well,
take-
Sundance only
pads
goes
on
to
the
the
top of the
office in a
apartments.
helicopter, so...
One day, guys, I'm going to live in a city. I'm going to tell you, it's not as good as I thought it was, probably. I didn't watch WCS today, so I can't actually say anything right now.
I think this is possibly the worst StarCraft segment we've ever done.
For some reason, it lasted an hour and 40 minutes or so.
But
Yeah.
I asked, like, Mike, what didn't he like about the NA
Yes.
manager? And he was just
Getting it,
like,
yes.
and he said it left much to be desired before. And I said, what did you mean by that? And he was like, oh, I don't really know. And I was like, Mike, that's not you.
No, I explained it. I explained because I think Katz and Calm and these Chinese players should have gotten an invite
yeah.
to the
Okay.
invite-only part of the qualifier instead of being invited to the open part of the qualifier. Otherwise, it seemed okay. I don't know. The qualifier's not done yet, so we'll see what happens with the part where there are more big-name players in it. I was good. In terms of results, I think Zenicider and some other players that, hopefully get into Challenger League and hopefully... I mean, I don't know. It's just like you roll the dice. Do I get Mia? Do I get, some other Korean? I don't know. I mean... I'm just worried about WCS North America because it's like, well, we already had our 2 Americans lose in the opening day.
Guess what?
And-
Tonight it's not going to be any different.
And we've got,
Yeah.
I think, Minigun and it's only one American.
Minigun and
player.
Ghost User, I
Minigun
thought,
and
no?
Phoenix
Oh, Phoenix, yeah.
versus Nesty and
yeah.
Apocalypse.
Yeah,
tonight.
so
So we could see 2 more Koreans go
Considering there's only like, what, 2 Americans
Can
or
we
North
bring out the
Americans?
brackets just so we can have
Yeah,
a look?
we can take a look here.
Because then it brings some context to
through. It is
people at
Phoenix.
home.
That's how I do follow.
Yeah,
the
no,
scene,
it is.
guys.
So this was the group that happened yesterday, as you all can see here. Group F.
Korea and
SGC,
Norway.
yeah, SGC and Snoot go through. Vibe and Diognis.
Wasn't Vibe a
Shaft.
champion from...
Yeah, he
WCS?
was last year's
WCS
American
America champion.
WCS America, yeah.
So the WCS American champion got knocked out by a Norwegian and Korean. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yes.
But he won a game, so he's probably pretty chuffed
He
with
won
himself.
3 games.
Yeah, he won 3 maps.
One series,
Maps.
3
He
maps.
beat Diognis in a series.
Yeah.
That's Matt.
And then right
He
next
won
to
eight
it,
He did
Yeah.
all in the
A
SGC
game
ones,
is a
which
map.
actually pretty slick. Did a roach bane
game is a
on
map,
SGC.
man.
If I say, do you
A
want to
series.
I say,
What,
do
Group
you want
E?
to play a game? And then you say,
It's a
yeah.
map.
And I'd be like, okay, we're going to be playing a best of 3. See? So I did that.
and
So-
the group next to it is the one that's happening tonight, Nesty and Apocalypse.
I mean, I don't see
it's going to be very,
like-
very
like,
difficult. for
Which
both.
Americans can get out of their groups?
All right, so
That's the thing. We have to look. I was looking through this.
In terms of strictly
Group
Americans,
A, you're screwed.
well, there's no Americans in Group A.
Well, I mean,
North
WCS
Americans,
America,
whatever,
you know,
the
like,
Americas.
yes.
We can say it that
Group
way.
B, you're screwed.
White boys. But they're
Group
not even
C,
white, actually, never
you're
mind.
screwed. Group D, you're screwed. Group E, you're screwed. Group F, already screwed. Group G, you got a chance.
Sen and Crank are pretty big favorites.
And Group H, yeah, you got a chance.
But doesn't Sen count as like the non-Korean? I guess so. He kind of counts as the.
But there are
a
a lot
foreigner
of
by
your
extension.
well,
groups.
Group H, you've actually... Oh, yeah, you got Moonglade.
Group
from
H.
Australia.
Yeah,
H.
but Moonglade
H.
could. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if Moonglade
H.
counted as American. Like people would be happy to see him go through just because they know who
Well,
he
he's
is.
white.
Because
He's white. I mean, that sums it up. It's
Speak
white
English.
boys versus.
Yeah.
What do you want? Like,
Moonglade's #1 America.
Defending the American turf.
Oh,
I mean, I guess
From Australia.
Illusion's a Korean American, so he's not white, but
Yeah.
you just need to have one of those. You can be,
But as long as
American
you
but
meet
not
these
white,
criteria.
or you can be white but not American.
Imagine, like...
One of those.
Imagine if, like, someone wasn't watching, like, had only just stumbled across this show, and just how racist that just all sounded.
Yeah.
Because imagine if,
Yeah.
just first of all, we say white, right? Imagine if we did that whole conversation, and we were talking, and that we said black instead.
Yeah.
And we were just complaining, like, yeah, well, you know, hopefully a black person goes through.
Yeah. You're all
Like-
screwed because you're not.
Yeah. It's like,
I'd probably say non-Korean instead of black if it was
imagine
the
this
same.
show.
But
out of
yeah,
context.
I hope that that the Americans or non-Koreans, should we say,
Whatever.
do show everyone that they can. I hope go through.
We were saying this from the start.
We'll see.
It's going to be hard. It's
It
gonna
is
be
gonna be
hard,
hard.
long.
And
fucking
then,
road
I
if they can do
mean,
it.
like, this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, because next
Because
season.
wait, can you find like the Challenger League and the Challenger League qualifier and what Koreans
yeah,
are
let me
waiting
see.
there to come up to this Premier League?
Yeah, and this is the round of 32. Don't even get started when we get into the round of 16. Whew.
Well, I mean, yeah, well, that's what we
Yeah.
were talking about. Round of 16, there would probably not
Yeah.
be
So
many
it's,
non-Koreans.
Yeah, no, I got it here. The Open Qualifier. The Challenger League. Is this it? No.
This
Isn't
is
the old one, isn't it?
Yeah, no. So this is the invite-only one. So I mean, let's see here how many Koreans here who will probably get into Premier League for season 2. We've got Hwang Sin,
And how many is this?
JYP,
Eight people,
Sage.
right? This is 8 from this.
I'm not 100% certain, but I believe everyone from the. If you lose in the round of 30, there's 16 new slots in Premier League, right? Because if you lose in the round of 32 Premier League, you fall down.
And 8 come. Where did the new 16?
They come from Challenger League.
So 16 then, not 8.
Yeah, so there's going to be a possible 16 people who can replace 16 mostly non-Koreans who are likely to lose. So, I mean, you count here how many Koreans are there. Hwang Sin, JYP, Sage, Arya, Tasia, Hyun,
Jaedong.
Center, Mia, Zenio.
Jaedong.
Did I skip J? Oh, Jaedong. So there's 10 right there.
And then you've got the Chinese.
Yeah.
It's
But-
going to be, again, difficult. But upsets happened in the previous one anyway, so it could happen.
And I mean, I'm just worried about this because as this stuff becomes more and more offline, and they're like, hey guys, you all have to move to New York, or hey, you all have to move to Ohio, or you have to move to San Francisco, a lot of these Koreans might just be like, I don't want to live in the USA, I'm going to forfeit my Premier League spot. And then all of a sudden you have 10 people in Premier League, you spend a year building these guys up as your Premier League players, and then all of a sudden when it actually comes to moving over to that region, supporting that region in terms of like talent physically being there, they're just out, right? So It's gonna be. I mean, it's been messy to start with, I think, and I think in Europe it's not gonna really be too messy. But I think North America, this is gonna be kind of messy.
I got a question, as I do. With the online games, if the NA WCS, you have Idra versus just say Crank or something, right?
Yep.
Yes.
How like the server is
All North America.
yeah, so
It's the handicap basically, and it's actually interesting.
But what if a Korean plays a Korean?
Apparently, I saw a Major tweeting and complaining, saying that he has to play. I think it was Hero or someone else.
Yeah, I was talking with Hero, and he was actually like, "Yeah, I like my group. 3 of them are in Korea."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he's like, "Yeah, I only have to worry about I think it was Phoenix." No,
Wait.
Phoenix.
So you're both saying the opposite thing.
Yeah. Well, Hero might just not know yet.
He may not know, but that's what he was
I
saying.
mean, I think it's quite likely they would have changed it. You know,
Well, from
Major might have. You should just bring up Major's Twitter feed. It's pretty funny. I don't know. He was just complaining that despite them both living in Korea, they have to play on the North American server. So
in
I think he's
normal
8_Major on Twitter.
outside WCS, when 2 players meet that play on the same server, if both agree, you can play on the server you come from.
Yeah.
For example, a European tournament, 2 Americans playing it, the Americans playing that.
I think
server.
it's smart to force.
But I don't
everything
know
on
if
NA.
Blizzard would force NA server play or not. And it's interesting if they do, because why?
I mean, I think it's the handicap, but if both
Yeah.
players agree, I don't
Well,
see
it's-
why you wouldn't.
Yeah, it's weird though because it's kind of like punishing their choice to play in North America when you've said to them they can play in North American League, so they should allow Korea.
Yeah, I
Korea.
guess that's a good argument. I mean,
Well,
especially
no,
if it gets
it's
Korean.
not an argument. It's like you shouldn't be punishing their choice. If they've decided that they want to play in NA because that's your rule sets and you've allowed that, and
Yeah, that's the point.
Probably MLG were like, we want some really good players, because we want some really good games. Then why would you be looking to punish them just for the fact that it's an oddity?
Sorry about that.
What else was I going to say? Oh, someone asked us to
Hashtag
talk
find
about
someone.
After Hours Gaming League, AHGL.
Oh yeah, that actually ran the same time as DreamHack Top 8. Even I would like to go as far as
And
saying
it was Day 9 and Husky?
yes, and I'm not 100% certain, but I'm pretty sure their numbers were really, really, really low because it was on the same time as DreamHack. But
Well, I
I'm
mean,
not
I don't know. I
100%
think Day
certain.
9, because the thing is, it's like no one tunes in for the After Hours Gaming League because they want to see like nice games. They want to see Day 9 and Husky, or they want to see their friends play games. So you kind of have the baseline of people that are big Day 9 fans, and then I mean, the AHGL was never like developed to be a big spectator league. But I don't know.
But I
What is
think it
what
did
is the
fine-
discussion we're
Was it
having
the
about?
finals?
I'm pretty sure it was.
Who won the final?
I don't know. I was casting DreamHack.
Microsoft, like I don't know. I mean, like
Twitch were in it.
who won the softball league company? Like
Yeah.
I mean, AHGL, it's a cool thing, sure, but I don't really see it as having a
thought
place.
it was Day 9's way to start getting in with some companies that you like.
Yeah, no, it's definitely great networking to
That's what I
go
thought
and
it
get in
was.
with all these companies. It's really weird too because anytime I do randomly tune into HGL, it's always Red Bull Gaming sponsoring it, which is kind of like, well,
What a great place to put your money.
I mean, all they do is, I mean, I guess they have a few probably full-time admins running it, and then they have $5,000 to charity for like the winner.
Yeah.
And it just seems like when I see Red Bull sponsoring all these big, these like Call of Duty players and all this other stuff, FPS console stuff in the States, they do good things with StarTale, but I just love to see them doing more with StarCraft, different things. I mean, they did come out
But
last
they
time.
give Day 9 a lot of money. That's. I mean, they support one of the pillars of the not even StarCraft, but the esport industry. I mean, I don't know if you read on Red Bull, the website, but Day 9 is actually the first entrepreneur in esports.
Oh,
It was on their website.
wow.
Must be
Yeah.
true then.
Yeah,
statement.
clearly.
Yeah,
Fuck you, old boys club.
Get fucked, Sundance. Day 9.
Should we talk about WCSCU before? Because it is like.
I'm trying to find out who won AHG After Hours Gaming League.
Yeah.
That's where the tumbleweed passes because nobody cares who won the AHGL.
Yeah,
It's okay. James is looking for it.
He's looking.
I'm waiting for someone to tell me who won.
Here,
But I think it's Microsoft.
Scriff, just bring up my screen.
I
for-
said it was
Oh,
Microsoft.
they beat Amazon. So Twitch weren't even there. Losers. What's on your
Semmler, you
screen?
fucking bad person.
You dirty dog. You.
You're
Yeah,
dirty,
chat's
you
on my
are.
screen. It's always on my screen. I love chat.
You brought up a picture of maybe Day9 and Zoe.
Oh, busted in one.
Damn, I can't get anything by you.
Busted in one.
Alright.
Oh, it's also up on my screen now because there's a delay.
Alright, can we just skip this?
What the fuck is going up in chat now? Okay, let's keep it moving.
Well, let's talk about WCCU.
Do we want to talk about that?
Well, is there anything? I do
Is
want
there
to
anything
give
I
credit to
want to
MLG with
talk-
their.
Okay, Apollo,
Hold
enlighten
on.
us.
Let's
Hold
close
on.
out WCS North America.
Trance is back. Look, perfect time.
Fucking lay off it. Lay off it.
No, we don't have smoke.
Sorry, Trent.
Oh, yo.
The people we're currently working will be
Trans-
done in a minute.
Oh my
Trance
god.
just you
Have a
can't
smoke
Trance.
rage
together.
quit a show.
Trent.
Why are you swearing at me so angrily?
Trent.
Trance, you can't rage quit a
Trance.
show and then come and ask for a cigarette.
Yeah, I have.
Trance.
But you expect me to give you a smoke, and fuck me over, and I have to produce.
Yeah, that's really rude of you.
I was just gonna give you.
Oh,
You mad at me?
Trance
Oh.
just gives James the finger.
Who are you mad at, Trans? Who are you mad at more?
Busted.
Alright, let's go.
Oh god.
Keep moving. So
Wow.
basically, nothing
Yeah,
to add on
well,
WCSNA.
to close out
close
WCSNA, I think in some ways it hasn't made the same splash as Europe because am I muted? Or are you just
No,
fucking
he
trolling?
wanted. He was asking where his phone was, and we told him you stole it
Oh.
because you were angry back at him.
WCS Europe came out with the new studio and everything, so it's kind of like more like ooh, like it's more of a splash.
feels
But
like
I think
WCS.
the North American broadcast has had kind of better assets to it, and ESL's catching up. The ESL website is actually, I guess we're going to talk about that next. But hopefully North America gets a website, but they've been pretty good. It's really entertaining watching the chat though from this last. They're going to fix it, but they had an overlay up that covered where the replay bar usually is. So they were the biggest flame wars in chat about whether or not these games were replays, and it was.
Didn't they move the overlay afterwards so that you could see it was live?
Maybe they did.
I was wondering why. I was like, why can't
I,
you see the bar?
I stopped watching after the third best of three because I wanted to go to sleep because it was like 4, almost 5 a.m. or something.
Yeah.
But they said they're going to change it for tomorrow. But yeah, the games were live, so
They were live. You can see by the chat. It's different when it's live than when it's in a replay.
Alright. So please now.
How's the chat
Now
different?
that was our
Because
final
in
point.
a
That's
replay, it comes up instantly.
gonna kill you all.
It doesn't come slowly, and there's not like a waiting time and stuff like that. Just
Truth to that. Alright, whatever. So, anything to add for NA? I'm just trying to move us along here because we
Do you
seem
have
to keep
anything
finding
that,
topics.
you
to
know,
bring
the
up.
one other thing that really stood out to me about WCSNA was I really liked between the games the shot of the New York skyline. It brought up
For me, Semmler, continue.
All right, so EU. Thank you, Scriff.
Griff is now
EU.
muted,
What would
Mike.
make it snappy? What do you want to say about WCSNA?
I didn't watch it. I let the sky.
Oh, okay, that's lovely.
Is
So-
Apollo muted? Hey,
I should hope
Griff,
so,
Griff,
because-
I like the skyline too. I like New York skyline.
All right, so now that's it for StarCraft. It's been a 2-hour StarCraft show,
No,
1 hour
WCSU.
Dota show. No, I'm sorry, you had your chance and you blew it. So,
You can't do that. There's a lot of fans that want to hear.
oh,
about
what
it.
do you? We've talked about it. What do you want
We
to
haven't
talk
talked about EU once.
Yes, we have.
WCSU.
Yes, we have. We brought it up.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we
just
did. We
went-
started the WCS section with EU.
Well, you skipped it then.
He just
Alright.
kind of said Group C was 30th, Group D was.
No. We
Main.
looked at the fucking groups.
I
and we
wanted
took
to
a
talk
look at
about
it.
their
All right.
ESL's improvements.
Talk about ESL's improvements, please.
God.
Would you like us to bring up a picture of the New York skyline to calm you down?
Does
Could you
Cologne have a
Google
good
it,
skyline,
please?
guys?
Cologne didn't
Semmler.
have a good sky. So
Semmler.
when it comes to WCS EU, I actually thought today was a good broadcast. I actually kind of really enjoyed today's broadcast. I think they're improving themselves day by
You
day.
original.
No one's listening, so why am I fucking
I
talking?
was listening.
There you go.
Come on, big guy.
Bring it up, Sean.
There was
Stop
a
messing
good.
around.
There was
No.
6,000 people listening.
Stop
Sean,
messing around.
deep breaths.
All right, go.
Yeah, just we're soaking in.
All right, go.
Deep breath.
It is nice though, isn't it? Yeah, come on, serious now. I want to have a discussion about it, otherwise I'm just going to leave.
You're not
All
really
right,
selling me on this
Christian.
point.
Alright, if you want to close it, Sam, I'll close it.
Go ahead. What do you want to say?
I'll give my notes
What?
to Carmack himself.
What do you
want
wanna
to
say?
Back to himself.
Well,
in-
you probably know that the production guy's watching this
Wait,
anyways.
I'm very
So-
happy to talk about their improvements. What have they done right?
Okay, thank you.
Good guy.
Hold on
James.
1 second.
All right.
So they have
He
a
wasn't even on the
Cologne
page.
skyline.
Look, you two can have your own conversation.
Me and James are in
Me
this.
and Apollo.
Alright. Today, they've
Yes.
once again improved themselves, ESL.
As what? Prove themselves as
Yeah,
what?
what are they proving?
Could you just
improved
wait for him to
themselves.
fucking finish the
Okay.
sentence
I didn't
before you
understand the
respond?
sentence.
Perhaps it's his elocution.
I am
that
actually shh.
Alright.
No, I'm actually with you on this. No, seriously, I just you just
No,
said,
sorry,
I
Paul.
thought
It's
I
not cool because Trance already did
I
this show.
actually I wasn't trolling.
You don't listen to me, so.
I was actually
Whatever. I'm send it to Carmack. Close the show, shut up.
that's your fucking fault because I just actually was listening so intently that
I know you
didn't
were.
understand what the fuck he said there because I thought he said ESL have proved themselves ESL.
I heard
And was
prove
like,
themselves. Exactly, I heard prove
ESL?
themselves
Like,
as
what
well.
does that involve?
And you
Like
think this guy's a
logos?
commentator? You
And
know he
so-
would how to, he would know how to pronounce his words.
Well, I thought like if I knew he said improved, I wouldn't have interrupted him. But I just didn't understand where he got to, and I was actually listening.
Well, I
intently.
mean, that was an honest mistake, James. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
was
I
actually-
made the same one.
No, you weren't. You
I
were
made the
being a
same
dick.
one. No,
You-
I heard
I
improved.
was
I heard
actually
proved
being
as
nice.
well. I heard proved as well.
You did not hear.
Yes, I did.
You weren't listening. Remember?
I was listening.
Apollo
I said,
you weren't
did you mean
listening.
improved, Apollo?
Did you say that?
Yes.
I wasn't listening to you.
Yeah, I know. You never do. All right, let's go.
We're all bad people.
You got anything
All
to
right,
say?
guys. So what ESL improved with their broadcasts was there's a bunch of different things. They had much better player cards, pretty much with good details. They had something with like all 4 players. They had Red Eye making predictions. So there's like a little Red Eye prediction thing. So he, I guess he basically cursed Rhett, and Rhett got pretty fucked. He got shit on. And then they were using, the 3 big LCD plasma screens. They would have like the 2 matchups of the players on the back there. So it's like you could see, and it's just a good way to kind of, obviously the players aren't there live, so it creates a bit more connection of seeing these players' faces and kind of knowing them. So that was cool. I can't think of too much else. They improved, they changed. I mean, their website is rather good. I haven't looked at it too much.
Yeah, there's a new one out now. The one thing I felt was weird because they got those 3 screens and they use them really nicely for like the verses and the player information and the map score. But when they have that cinematic constantly rolling in the background, it's so
You
much.
find it distracting?
It's just so much going on for me, yeah. And that's just because I'm senile, really. But overall, I think they're taking very quick steps, ESL, in the right direction in terms of
Yeah.
getting
I
to
mean,
where they
it-
want to be with the product.
It must be very challenging for them because they're also working on their second studio that's going to be for the offline segment. I imagine they're working on that. So it's good to see them continuing to improve, and hopefully both of them kind of keep pushing the bar up. It'll be really fascinating to see the round of 16 from both of these organizations. If because MLG can't come out and just like basically take an arena and do that, right? They have to do something cool. I'd love to see if MLG, had something like, we're doing the pub stomp for the, TI qualifier finals, where, see how many people we can get to come here and just create that live audience atmosphere. As if they do, what the fuck did you do? Yeah, all right.
Oh, that's from when I beat Apollo.
Yeah. Hey, hold on. Let's stay on topic.
Maybe
We're
just
actually
go ahead, stay
doing
on
good
topic.
here. We're on topic.
Good,
But
good, please,
because
continue.
MLG have enough space, if they could fit 10 people in there just to kind of give that live feel to it. I mean, it's like the European LCS versus the North American. I don't know how many people they fit in there. Probably well no more than 10. But it's cool just to have that, and we'll see. Who knows how these round of 16 thingamajiggers are gonna look.
Why can't I click on this?
Kanaka tweeted, "What does everyone think
I
of the
know,
New
right?
York skyline MLG uses?" WCS. Oh god, it's awesome.
We gotta use that. We gotta find some nice footage of the skyline for the TI qualifiers
We
and
do.
get that in there.
I feel like Apollo's in that kind of kid stage where he gets obsessed with something. Like when you've got a kid, he's like 5 and he's like obsessed with Power Rangers, and then you've got to paint his whole fucking room Power Rangers. So we should make an effort to go and buy as many pictures of the New York skyline from IKEA and just decorate his room, just to keep him happy when he's in there. Because every time he leaves, he's getting angry. And Trance as well. We could get lots of Ronald McDonald's. in
So a nice
Trance's
big
bedroom.
M. Just a big M.
Oh, the Connie would approve.
Ronald McDonald, blankets, duvets.
I'm just thinking we need to get a... Yeah, okay, go ahead, whatever. Let's keep going. Well, that pretty much sums it up. I mean, is that the last point that you are going to make on StarCraft? It's been a 2-hour StarCraft segment by now. you have anything you'd like to add? Because I'm about to close it. Mike.
Let me think for a minute.
Oh, go ahead, Jay. Do you have anything? New York Skylines. I know it's going through your mind. All right. So, everybody, that's it
my
for StarCraft right now. We've talked about just about everything, I think.
We should just close the fucking show.
Yeah, we should right now.
We're closing it right now, right? Just do it, man. Take charge.
that's
Rate
what we're
the
doing.
show. Oh.